10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Extreme Wrestling Shirts. The No Holds Barred Network proudly present the 5th annual No Holds Barred Network Slammy Awards. And now, here are your hosts for this year's Slammy Awards, Kyle Masters and Hollywood, Michael Chow. Ladies and gentlemen, how is it going? And welcome to the 5th annual No Holds Barred Network Slammy Awards right here on the No Holds Barred Network on youtube.com/NHBWR. I am your host of the spectacle of this award show, Kyle Masters, and I'm joined by my one host who's hosting it with me, and that is Hollywood Michael Chow. And ladies and gentlemen, on camera, on live here on YouTube, is our special co-host, Blast from the Past, none other than @HeelTurn21 on Twitter, Brian. Brian, how's it going, man? Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's up, guys? What's up, all my little Maharajas? We can't have the best show of the year without the best host of the year, right? So it's good to be back.
The main roster, Maharaja, is back, guys. And just want to point out, guys, just want to let you know, since Ronda Rousey's out there breaking kayfabe, we're going to break kayfabe. Me and Brian's fight was actually real last year. Yeah.
Yeah. No holds barred is fake.
Yeah,
our
No Holds
fight
Barred's
was
fake.
real.
Our fight was real. No Holds Barred's fake. I know Michael was just shocked there. He had his hands on his face.
Oh, good. You know, I'm just saying because I thought the beef we had with the other podcast, man, I thought for some reason I thought it was legit. Okay, all is forgiven. I love those other guys. I hope their podcast will flourish if it's still there.
Oh, leave my buddies alone. I miss those guys.
But, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the network and you're here in the Slammy Awards chat, welcome to the Slammy Awards. We do this show once a year. We put a lot of time and effort. It's our favorite show of the year. We do our own Slammy Awards a little bit late this year, now into March. We tried to get it set up for February. Couldn't get it done. Next year, I'm hoping to get it done as early as January, just so it's like Slammy seasons. We can do it for you guys. It's a little bit late, but no sooner the better, I guess. I don't know. We have a lot of categories today, actually 17 categories this year, a lot of funny ones. And how it's going to break down, guys, is each category where you're going to have actually our co-host, Michael Chow, will go over the previous winners from other years. If they were, some categories are newer than others, so there won't be a lot of previous winners. And then Michael will also go over the honorable mentions for the certain category. Also, we'll announce the winner, and then after that we will reveal the Twitter poll results, and that'll be done by our own very other host here, Brian, and he'll just quickly go over what was being said in the comment section for those Twitter poll questions on NHB Slammies on Twitter. So it's going to be a good show, guys. We always enjoy this show. There's always going to be chit chatter in between each categories. Me and I guess my two hosts here will also talk about, we'll have our opinions on certain things. So we're going to give you guys a full-on Slammy show this year. Unfortunately, none of the winners are going to be here to accept their award tonight. So I'm going to designate Michael Chow to accept every award on their behalf. So, Michael, I hope you're up to the test for that.
I am. Although, I mean, everything here is fake, so I don't know. Boo the woo. Damn the man. And there you go. That's my acceptance speech. Just go ahead and record and replay it.
Awesome. That was unbelievable, Michael. Good. That was good. Good job. Thank you. Anyways, guys, we're going to go right into the first category, and it has nothing to do with the WWE, surprisingly. Our first category of the year, ladies and gentlemen, is Twitter Fan of the Year. And I wish I wanted to get some applause sound effects for this, but we'll just have Michael do the clapping for today's show. But guys, Twitter fan of the year. Thank you, Michael. Twitter fan of the year. If you guys don't know, it was a regular thing here when this podcast first started. Michael, I wanted Michael to announce past winners. Actually, Michael is none other than a past winner of this No Hold Barred Network's Twitter fan of the year, and now he's officially on the network itself. So it's funny how things work out like that. We've had other previous winners, as in so Michael Chow was one, and we also had Glorious Greg for 2. I think we've only had 2. I think we only did this for 2 years. I'm pretty sure. So our last 2 winners were Glorious Greg and then Michael Chow. And then for this past year, we have selected a winner. So how you get nominated for Twitter Fan of the Year. Basically, you are interacting with this podcast all the time. You are liking tweets. You are retweeting tweets. You are interacting with us on Twitter. You are sharing this podcast. You're interacting within the podcast chats. Everything gets played into it to become Twitter Fan of the Year. Past winners cannot win twice. That's a big rule we've made with this. Yeah, Michael, I'm sorry. You're not winning this one 2 years in a row. Sorry. No gold.
But I have money. How do you think I won the first time?
No Golden State Warrior for you, okay? That's not happening this podcast. So, this year, I would like to congratulate the winner of the Twitter Fan of the Year for the No Holds Barred Network. And that is none other than the new host with myself for the All Elite Podcast, Tiffany, on Twitter at loves2dream82. Yeah, well, the sound effects here. There you go. Tiffany has officially joined myself on the All Elite Podcast, and she's official member of the No Holds Barred Network. And she has awesome stuff, man. She's been with this podcast forever, and she had a really big year last year with promoting everything and doing a lot of stuff for me last year behind the scenes. So I do want to really thank her a lot for what she's done up till now, and now officially part of the No Holds Barred family. So in recognition, Tiffany, we are giving you the Twitter Fan of the Year for the year of 2018. So congratulations, Tiffany at Loves to Dream 82 for becoming another Twitter Fan of the Year. I feel like I'm gonna make like a plaque, like not a real plaque, but like a graphic plaque, and have like the winners on there. So, and then we'll go from there. Sorry, sorry, Brian, you didn't win.
No, how dare you? I am actually offended, Kyle. How
Why?
do you not?
We had beef,
No.
Brian. We had beef. I'm sorry.
No, sir. How about the fact that we're making history today with the first ever female fan of the year?
Oh,
Women's Revolution. Come on, guys.
That's right. That's right. We're PC podcast here, guys. So I'll apply that too. Good job. Thank you for bringing that up, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you.
That gives you an extra nominee for next year. Anyways, so that is our first award, just to get out of the way, on WWE related. So we're going to jump right into the WWE Awards now, guys. And our first category this year is Pay-Per-View of the Year. And Michael Chow, take it away.
I have it on my list. I think Cringe Moment of the Year is first.
Oh, my bad. So, Michael,
you blew it.
Michael, on our show this week, I'm going to have to bring this up. You have to remind me that I blew it already. So, Pay-Per-View of the Year is the next one, guys. So, for you guys who have just seen the nominees, you got a little taste there, a little preview. But first award of the night, let's do this right. Rewind. Cringe Moment of the Year. Michael, finally, take it away.
All right, guys. So I'm here to read the previous year's winners. I'm also here to read the nominees / honorable mentions. So let's go ahead and start with previous years. So, guys, don't forget, this is actually celebrating last year. Mm-hmm. So if all of this sounds old or some of you guys forgot, it's garbage that did happen, and you should be reminded of it. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. The previous year, so 2017 on Slammys, if you guys can remember this, Kyle, Brian, the winner of the Slammy Award, No Holds Barred, 2017, for Cringe Moment of the Year was none other than the Enzo Amore and Big Show wrap-off on Monday Night Raw.
That was so bad. My ears, I think, literally bled through that. I honestly, I think I felt some blood coming out of my ear. Like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Especially that was at the time when Enzo and Cass were fresh coming up from NXT. And everyone was like on their back. Okay, they didn't win any of the tag belts in NXT because they had so many chances. They're gonna come up to the main roster and be a big impact. They went downhill straight from there.
I want to talk about this skyrocketed both of their careers. Look at what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
No, right?
Yeah,
no,
right.
all
Yeah.
right, all right,
No
guys. Let's
comment.
go ahead. No comment. Let's go ahead and get straight into the nominees. So for cringe moment of the year, we have. And if you guys want, you could add a little bit of feedback to any of these nominees. The first one is Drake Maverick's Pee Pants. That was nominated by our very own Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty cringy. Especially, it also featured The Big Show, which you guys all know my opinions on The Big Show. Yeah, that was pretty cringy right there. You had Sheamus, Cesaro, and Big Show watching Drake Maverick literally piss himself.
And if I remember correctly, Enzo Amore tried to jump the barricade during this match.
I think this was that match, yes.
Oh my gosh! So we have both people from the previous year's cringe pretty much involved in this nominee. So
Pretty much, yeah.
And
Oh.
this also sparked my 4-year-old daughter at a Monday Night Raw to start a AOPP chant with the rest of the crowd. So
Oh,
yeah, thanks guys.
that was a good one to explain to your daughter.
All right.
Yeah.
Next in our nominee, we have, and this was actually added by our very own Brian, any Asuka promo of 2018. So I tried to narrow this down, but I literally typed Asuka bad promo on YouTube, and so many came up.
Oh.
So I could not narrow it down. I just had to put on the list any Asuka promo. Do you have anything to add to this, Brian? Was there one specific promo that you just hated from 2018?
Yeah, the one that you could understand, which was absolutely none of them. So there you go.
Very nice.
Right up.
Very, very well said.
All right, next we have Shane McMahon wins the WWE World Cup, therefore making him best in the world, and he wasn't even in this tournament.
Horrible.
Short match.
Horrible.
I don't know what to say.
Horrible.
Yeah.
That's garbage, man. That's just so stupid. It's a McMahon thing to do, if that makes any sense.
Anyway, we go from someone who's not a quality wrestler in Shane McMahon to one of the best wrestlers in the world. Our next nominee goes to Roman Reigns, kicking out of the 5th F5 at WrestleMania.
I mean, that's a opinion-based right there. Best wrestler in the world. I'm just saying that's threading a fine line there, Michael. Fine line. I would say he's maybe a good entertainer, but wrestler, yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
If it's not Shane, it's got to be Roman, right?
Yeah,
It's got
one of the two. It's either Vince's actual son or his pet.
His son or his baby, either one.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
Roman's
oh,
basically
man.
Roman McMahon.
Roman McMahon.
Yeah.
All right, next nominee is the best of both worlds music video. Did any of you guys enjoy this music video? How about the part where AJ Styles says this is going to be phenomenal? No good? How about the dancing? You guys didn't like Nia Jax doing the sprinkler system? No?
Yeah.
That was the precursor to the Carmella dance-off, so I can't hate on that.
Copyright. But yeah.
There you
There's only one type of dancing I'd love to see Carmella doing. That's. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
go.
Well, I think Corey Graves
You
would
do, Corey.
agree. Next, Braun Strowman throws Kevin Owens' porter potty off the Raw stage, covering him in blue goo. Nothing?
Ooh.
Let's move on. The McMahon family announced a fresh start. So I actually checked. This was the last week of December. This makes, by a thread, makes for one of the cringe moments of the year. Are you guys enjoying the fresh start, by the way?
There was a fresh
Right?
start.
Ratings up?
Really?
No?
There was a fresh start. Really? Are you sure? I don't see
Yeah.
anything. I don't see anything different. I mean,
NXT
the only thing I
NXT
can give credit,
every
I'll
week.
give a 0.5 credit to SmackDown actually being, watchable for a change. That's been a long time because SmackDown actually started pretty good when they first did this whole brand split. Then it tailed off because Vince McMahon there was crazy rumors saying that he didn't like it, that it was surpassing Raw, and now all of a sudden he's okay with it passing Raw. Like it's such a whirlwind with Vince McMahon's head, man. It's just
I don't know what you're complaining about. We're getting Batista versus Triple H at WrestleMania. That's the freshest start of them all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it 2006? My bad. I didn't know we're going the reverse order for WrestleMania. Okay, gotcha. Hey, okay.
It's definitely a fresh start because not only is it no holds barred this time, it's Batista with a nose ring. All right, that's a fresh start. That's the best fresh start. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, and our last nominee is Sami Zayn's Lashley Sisters segment. I don't need to say anything else. As research for these nominees, I actually had to rewatch everything. I don't know what else to say. That's it. That's all the nominees.
Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, the winner chosen by myself, Michael Chow, and Brian here. So how it's going to work is we're going to show you guys the winner of who we picked, and then we'll get into the Twitter poll results of what you guys voted out there. So the winner chosen by No Holds Barred committee, and the winner is Sami Zayn and his sisters. All right.
God, it's so bad.
Oh, man.
They won and we all lost.
That's just that's got to be the worst one. I'm telling you, that there was no benefit out of that. Nothing. Like there was no point to it. Literally, it was just the biggest filler in the history of WWE. I honestly think it was the biggest filler ever. Like there was no other reason for that. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I had to rewatch basically all of the nominees, and at least with Drake Maverick's pee pants, there were some people in the crowd, maybe Brian's daughter, who were laughing. Right when this segment went down, I literally listened. There was crickets. It was awful. It served no purpose. It was a horrible feud.
Well, the pee thing didn't serve a purpose because they literally did it for 2 weeks, and then we never heard from it again. We should put that out there. So for the Twitter poll results, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to turn to Brian. I think it was pretty obvious, Brian, in the Twitter sphere there, the Twitter comments of what won.
From what I can see here, it looks like a clean sweep.
Mm-hmm.
If I can mention some of the voters here, probably the greatest podcast host of all time, Mr. Cappy Collects.
Oh.
Cupid Girl, Datilia, Chuck, Blue Box, and I'm gonna botch this, but G Hilly.
Okay.
Clean sweep.
Oh, that's Glorious Greg there. He's Guy Hillies. That's his thing.
Oh, okay.
That's his Twitch tag.
Clean sweep for Sami Zayn and the sisters.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Jesus.
That's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. But
it's just the fact that it went nowhere.
Yeah.
It did nothing.
So we're in agreement with the Twitter poll this time. There's gonna be a lot of awards I've already seen that we have split decisions. But with that category, cringe moment of the year, Sami Zayn and the Lashley sisters. I don't know who would accept that. I guess they would all have to accept at the same time. If this was their actual award stage, you'd have like Sami Zayn and the sisters and Bobby Lashley all accepting it on at the same time. So yeah, Michael Chell is accepting this award on their behalf. So. I know it's not really the best award, Michael, but you know.
Should I put on a wig? Fake boobies?
No, let's just
stuff.
Leave it how you are right now. How about that?
Okay, thank you.
That's good. Oh man, my Windows notifications keep going off. I'm trying to turn that off because I know it's going to be sounded in the podcast. God damn. Anyways, let's get to our next category, shall we? And now we're getting to this one. I botched earlier. This is the right one. And now we're getting to pay-per-view of the year. Michael, take it away.
All right, so believe it or not, there were actually no previous winners in this category for Slammy Awards 2017. So we're going straight into the nominees. Guys, go ahead and chime in anytime. We have NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
So good. So good. It's tough because it was a tough competition with the other TakeOver in these nominees, but TakeOver 4, I think that's actually been it's a close tie with that one and the one that's produced, in my opinion, to this day, still the greatest women's match of all time with Bayley and Sasha Banks. That pay-per-view was also really good as well, but I remember Bayley and Sasha making that pay-per-view was amazing. So Takeover Brooklyn 4, a close competition with that, but Brooklyn 4 was honestly amazing. And we'll go into the next nominees. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, awesome. The Royal Rumble. I thought this was actually a really good pay-per-view. Actually, all the winners that we wanted, even though they all lost at WrestleMania and they were both Japanese. What are the odds? It's Vince gave us the winners that we wanted. It was actually pretty good. And the only thing I didn't like was the person who came out here, hijacked the show, and pointed at the WrestleMania sign. Pretty much.
But other than that, that Royal Rumble was. I mean, me and Brian went to this year's Royal Rumble, so we were there. And Brian, I want to ask you this: which one would you say was better, last year's or this year's?
Just to be honest, I really felt like last year's was funner. I don't know if it was the fact that we were there for 7 hours and halfway through,
That literally took a lot out of me, and I know it took a lot out of you.
And after the women's Rumble match, being there, the energy it just felt like it died completely after the women's Rumble. So I think I had more fun watching last year's. I haven't gone back and watched this year's yet because I was there for 7 hours. I'm not gonna watch it again. But I enjoyed last year's more.
Okay.
Kyle?
I'm going to say I enjoyed last year's more. I think the biggest thing that was awesome for me, and I popped with everybody because it was a sick moment. I don't hate Becky Lynch. When she came out and replaced Lana, I was like, this is the sickest thing ever. Like, listen to this fucking pop. I couldn't hear myself think when she came out at that point. And that I'm like, man, they have big money with her right now. And the fact that they literally just completely destroyed that up until now really pisses me off. But I'm going to say last year, by a little bit, was actually definitely better. So next nominee, Michael.
Next nominees, Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown. That seemed like everything was on the line, but after SmackDown got its ass handed to it, nothing really happened. Right?
But
I think every single year they make it sound like this is Raw versus SmackDown. Everything is on the line. The superior brand moves forward, and then
but this one was actually
really
pretty
happens.
good. This one was actually pretty good because it produced actually some decent matches. I'm pretty sure this was the one where we got Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles, which was actually one of Brock Lesnar's best matches ever in his entire career. We had, I'm pretty sure, it was Seth Rollins versus who did Seth Rollins face? And it was a really good match. Was it not Shinsuke Nakamura?
You know what? My bad.
It was IC versus US title, right?
Yeah, that was actually a sick match. This produced good matches. And we got Ronda and Charlotte too early. People complained about that, didn't we not?
Yeah, the biggest thing that this produced was the whole Becky Lynch Mania thing.
Yeah.
This if it wasn't for this pay-per-view and for the actual botch of Nia Jax punching Becky in the face, Becky wouldn't be as big as she is right now. So I think this pay-per-view is what catapulted Becky to where she's at now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was good. I thought it was actually the best Survivor Series in a while. So I hate the whole Raw and SmackDown thing. Regardless of that, the matches itself for this pay-per-view was good, and that's why we've nominated it as a pay-per-view of the year. Because, there's the entertainment aspect of it, but you have to include the wrestling because it's World Wrestling Entertainment. And for them to produce actually good wrestling matches in a year where 2018 was probably the worst year for WWE, I think it was actually, a good thing for them. So other than that, next nominee.
I'm going to have to stop you right there. According to WWE's press release for the announcement of WrestleMania, I'm going to have to ask you not to use World Wrestling Entertainment, please. You don't have to use the word WWE.
WWE.
Yeah.
What? When I read that article, I was sitting there, Michael, see me shaking my head? This was what I was doing the entire time. I'm like, are you kidding me? There was all the obvious in there, like the belt and championship. I'm like, yeah, that's standard. That would be stupid for that. But like other words, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, really, is it that really important for them to say WWE and not World Wrestling Entertainment? So not only is Vince shortening superstar names, he's shortening his actual company's name in press releases.
So it'll just be W.
Just be W. W. Just W.
W. But yeah. All right, next we have NXT TakeOver New Orleans, or AKA NXT TakeOver WrestleMania.
This was good. I was there for this one, so this was amazing. Literally, not only did the ladder match at the beginning of the pay-per-view literally make the entire pay-per-view, this whole card was amazing. We had Johnny versus Tommaso Ciampa, which literally was an insane match. You had Cien Almas versus Aleister Black, which was another match of the night. And then you had the ladder match, which Adam Cole won that, becoming the first North American champion. And in the same night, Roderick Strong betraying Pete Dunne and joining the Undisputed Era. So all this in one pay-per-view. And then you had Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler, which crowned the first title for Shayna Baszler as well. So all that into one. This was the best NXT takeover I've seen in a long time up to that point. So it was good. It was good all around from start to finish.
All right.
I was wondering how WrestleMania was going to be the next day, and it surely didn't disappoint to my standards of what it was going to become. Oh man, I had some things to say about WrestleMania 34, and they weren't.
Hey, what are you talking about? Hey, we might have gotten Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, but we had the best feud of all time: Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. How dare you? Best series ever.
Right. Anyways,
Oh
I don't know if you have any 2 cents about it, Michael.
No, let's move on. All right, next, the first ever all-women's pay-per-view, WWE Evolution. And I'm very disappointed they didn't play Evolution's theme music. Evolution is a mystery.
Okay, I wouldn't, and I'm not giving gripe to the women here. I wouldn't put it in this category. That's just me. I don't think it was that great. It was good for its first pay-per-view, but pay-per-view of the year? Come on, guys. Let's be real here. Nothing out of that pay-per-view told me it was going to be a great pay-per-view and it would outbeat anything else during the year. Like, the Battle Royal was literally a waste of time. Like, that was literally horrible. The only thing that was good was Becky and Charlotte. That literally was the only good thing about the whole thing.
That didn't main event, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've said it before. I've said it before. Would you have paid for this pay-per-view? Because I wouldn't have.
Paid for it? No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. So it was a house show with some cameras, but it was okay, but it wasn't, like you said, it shouldn't even be on the list.
Yikes.
Yep. Sorry.
I said it. I mean, like you said, we're not griping the women's division or anything like that. It just
wasn't great.
It wasn't.
I put her up there. It wasn't great. Showdown.
Yeah, it was good. Good at best. It was good.
All right, fair enough. Next, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia.
Awesome. It had literally one of the matches of the year on it with Almas and Gargano. That match was so. I've rewatched that match at least 2 months. 2 months after that, I rewatched that match maybe anywhere from 6 to 8 times. That match was so good. Literally was so good. Like the storytelling of it all, that was a big thing with it, and the match itself, like Johnny Gargano is literally Johnny Wrestling. That guy has an unreal match with anyone he goes in the ring with. So it was just one of those, that match made the pay-per-view that much better. Other than that, I'm trying to remember other stuff that happened in that pay-per-view. Nothing's really coming to mind. I think it's because TakeOver New Orleans literally outbeat any TakeOver for the whole year last year. So
I could be wrong, but I think the Aleister Black versus Ricochet match was on that one. Or I think it was the Aleister Black versus Adam Cole match, actually.
I think it was Adam Cole because Ricochet didn't debut until after, or until WrestleMania, or New Orleans was his first match. So that's all I got to say.
All right, perfect. And our last nominee is actually nominated by our very own Brian, and probably because he was actually there, NXT TakeOver War Games.
Oh, you were there? I forgot.
Yeah, I was. That was my first NXT pay-per-view.
And what'd you think?
I have been to the NXT house shows before, so I kind of knew the vibe, and obviously I try to watch the B show as much as I can, but just the whole vibe of the show, the whole crowd, it was just
nutty,
way
right?
way more energetic than a WWE pay-per-view. Yeah. The closest crowd I can compare it to, or the closest feeling I can compare it to, was like a Mania crowd. But the show itself, start to finish, was great.
I'm impressed with the audiences that are growing in NXT, because when I was at TakeOver Phoenix this past January, saw a lot of kids that were invested in the NXT characters and had their T-shirts and were loving NXT. And I'm like, oh my god, like this is actually the greatest thing I've ever seen. Little kids that actually enjoy and love NXT. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, please, let them grow up loving this shit, please.
And it's growing pretty fast because a couple years ago, like I said, I've been to the NXT house shows, and it was just the older fans, adults, and stuff like that. Even at War Games, I think LA is just kind of a rowdier crowd. It was still 95% adults. But yeah, I did see a lot of kids at the Phoenix show, so that's good.
Well, they certainly were rowdy when they booed Ronda Rousey straight out the building.
Hey, I called that.
Yeah, she did. She mentioned you, Brian, last week on Raw, that you guys booed her in her hometown. She said she doesn't need you guys.
Did I not say on the podcast? You can go back. I said LA hates Ronda Rousey.
I think you did. I think I remember that. Yeah.
There you go. Since they announced Daniel Bryan as the new Daniel Bryan, I think they should start announcing Ronda Rousey as the real Ronda Rousey. Only seems fair,
And there's that Michael Chow comedy. Here we go.
No, it's not a joke. That's the real deal. People are booing her because they hate her. I don't like her, so there you go. All right, that's it for the nominees. So,
all right,
Kyle, take it away.
The winner, chosen by here, the No Holds Barred Committee of pay-per-view of the year is TakeOver New Orleans. Yes, literally, again, like I said, one of the best pay-per-view one of the best NXT TakeOver pay-per-views to that date. My God, was it so good. And man, like it was just everything you wanted in a pay-per-view for TakeOver, with the ladder match. That ladder match was like 30 minutes long at the beginning, and it really like got you hyped for the rest of the pay-per-view. And then we had an Unreal match with Black and Cien Almas, and an Unreal match with Gargano and Ciampa, the whole history behind those two, the crowning of Shayna Baszler. Like, it was just such a sick pay-per-view. So good for that. And that's our choice for pay-per-view of the year. We're going to go over to Twitter, and our host Brian will take over for that for pay-per-view of the year. Brian, what are Twitter saying pay-per-view of the year was this year?
Twitter actually seems to be disagreeing with us on this one. It looks like we have a majority of TakeOver Brooklyn votes, with one New Orleans vote from Craig. But Tiffany, Cupid Girl, Blue Box, and looks like that's it. All with NXT Brooklyn.
So, Brian, I don't expect you to say everyone's name when we're going to get to a certain category, because we had over 30 votes in it. So I don't want you to read everybody's name. But yes, the majority did vote for Brooklyn 4. I was shocked. I mean, it was a really good pay-per-view. Again, like I said, it was probably one of the best Brooklyn NXT pay-per-views since they started the Brooklyn thing. But I think, just in our opinions, us here at the committee, I think New Orleans was definitely a way better pay-per-view. But tough call. But interesting note here, none of the WWE pay-per-views got any votes. Ouch.
That is interesting.
I mean, in a way, it's not fair for them to be running up against NXT, because that's NXT pay-per-views actually almost surpassed the following pay-per-views, and it sucks. It shouldn't be that way. It should be the WWE pay-per-view should see how good NXT is. Okay, we're gonna fucking top that now. Now we're gonna go and do a better pay-per-view the following day. That should be their mindset and what they should be accomplishing, not the complete opposite. Not like, oh, look, it's Fastlane. It's going to be Monday Night Raw 2.0, basically. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it should always be surpassing. It should be always getting better. But it just seems like they don't go in that direction. With a room full of 30 writers, you think they can do it. But that's not my business. I think
the only reason a WWE pay-per-view didn't win this category is because the Greatest Royal Rumble wasn't on the list. So, this was rigged. I think.
It was rigged, yeah.
It could have been. The fans needed to vote it in. I mean, I don't know what to say. Come on, fans. Vince needs your help. Otherwise, every single week, Vince is going to send up 4 more NXT guys. So
we'll get into the next category, ladies and gentlemen. That is worst pay-per-view of the year. So we had the best.
Some of my favorites.
Now we get into the worst pay-per-view of the year. And Brian mentioning Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm wondering if it'll be one of the nominees.
Can't. It's called the greatest, not the worst.
But Michael,
now that was the Michael Chow classic bad joke. All right. So,
Michael, were there past winners for this one?
No, surprise, believe it or not. And for research, I actually had to listen to the 3 hour and 30-something minute of last year's Slammy Awards. So there is no previous year's winner. There you go. There was no previous year's winner. So let's go ahead and get straight into the nominees. So this year, we have Kyle's nominee of the greatest Royal Rumble 2018.
Sorry, Brian.
And for Brian, no, Brian's in here too. Brian nominated his pick, Backlash 2018, with Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe with no title on the line in the main event. Next, Crown Jewel 2018, Super Showdown. Loving the names, guys. Super Showdown 2018. And last but not least, Hell in a Cell 2018. Rounds up the worst pay-per-views nominees.
I think any Hell in a Cell is the worst pay-per-view because they don't live up to like the hype of a gimmick pay-per-view. WWE is the worst with gimmick pay-per-views. Like, to me, it's a little hardcore and outlandish, but a gimmick pay-per-view should feature every single match with that gimmick. Should it not? You want a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, shouldn't you expect every goddamn match to be in the Hell in a Cell? Wouldn't that be like sick? Wouldn't that be worth paying money for? You're not going to go and watch a regular singles match that you'd probably see on Monday Night Raw the week before? Why would you pay that at a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view? You know what I mean? Like, to me, if it's a gimmick pay-per-view, every match in there. Elimination Chamber, every goddamn match in there. You don't need to use the pods. If it's a one-on-one match, put them in a chamber. Just put them in there. Extreme Rules, every single match an Extreme Rules match. TLC, every single match should be either a table, ladders, and chairs, or all three. Every single match. I hate when the gimmick pay-per-views don't live up to the gimmick name. Like, there's like
Great Balls of Fire.
You can't. Well, that'd be still PG.
Light everyone on fire.
Maybe when SmackDown goes 14-8, we can bring that back. Yeah, as for those nominees, shockingly, the two Saudi Arabia ones are on there, and the Australia one. So clearly, WWE doesn't know how to do a pay-per-view outside its own territory. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, if I can touch on them a little bit, the main nominees: Crown Jewel, Greatest Royal Rumble, Backlash, and Super Showdown. At least we can remember some things out of Crown Jewel, Greatest Royal Rumble, and Super Showdown. I don't even remember Backlash. I don't remember anything. You
know why? Because literally it was 2 weeks after the Greatest Royal Rumble. It literally happened a couple of weeks right after, and it literally none of the matches made sense. It was way too rushed, and you couldn't get invested in it. And actually, that was the pay-per-view that sparked the Jinder and Roman Reigns feud.
Was it? When he said Joe versus Roman, I was like, what the fuck? When did that happen? I completely forgot about this pay-per-view.
Right? I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Wasn't it Joe? Was it Joe and Roman?
No, because I remember, right? It was the main event, and people started walking out of the arena.
It was bad. It was really, and people. I remember on Twitter people going, "Oh my God, Samoa Joe has to listen to this." And
that's the one where people were leaving early.
Yeah, they wanted. They're like, "My Samoan is Joe." You know.
Yeah. See, I forgot.
Yeah.
No, because I think Jinder Roman was on I think Money in the Bank. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was this one.
Okay, I think you're right, Michael.
Yeah. But I'm looking at the nominees too. 3 out of the 4 main categories are international events. So what does that say?
They can't book outside the territory. They are not that good. Your team full of 30+ writers can't book a good pay-per-view. Time to, empty the pot. I don't think NXT has 30 writers. I think literally it's like 3 or 4 of them, and I really think it's trainer included: Albert, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the chick trainer. I literally think it's just them writing everything, or mostly Triple H. Like, I don't think they have 30 writers doing this shit. So,
well, don't worry. Latest news is that Dana Warrior is going to be headed to the creative team for Raw and SmackDown. So,
wow,
yeah. We got this, guys. We got
big thing there. She knows so much. This is basically I would rather have Vince Russo come back. Just saying.
Hey, watch it. Well, now we're getting. I know,
touchy.
Yeah.
At least I didn't say Dave Meltzer. That would have been even more touchier.
Oh yeah, I would have. The show would have been over.
Yeah. So, in saying that, the winner, chosen by the No Holds Barred committee for worst pay-per-view of the year is Crown Jewel. Yay! Crown Jewel, you won. You were the worst pay-per-view of the year. All right. Good for you. I don't know how to sound excited for winning the worst pay-per-view of the year. Like, how do you sound excited for that?
Oh, man. This was bad, like, honestly, because I originally had picked Greatest Royal Rumble with you, Kyle, but then I thought about it, and I was like, this is the second event they're having for a pay-per-view that no one wants, and this was the pay-per-view where Daniel Bryan and John Cena dropped out of the event because they didn't want to be involved with it, and, you know, obviously no female superstars are allowed on this event, and it was a bad pay-per-view. What, this had the World Cup one, and then The Undertaker and Kane taking on Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which is just bad. It was a bad event.
Terrible.
And they signed on a huge contract. They're going to be back in Saudi Arabia this year, guys. So
yuck. Anyways, to the Twitter poll. What's going on Twitter for worst pay-per-view of the year there, Brian?
It looks like Twitter agrees with us. Crown Jewel 2018.
Wow. Yeah, 90% Crown Jewel. 10% did Backlash, and a little whopping 5% for Greatest Royal Rumble. So there was a little tad in. So Super Showdown and Greatest Royal Rumble both had 5%. And Backlash, a little bit of a 10, and in Crown Jewel, the majority when picking and agreeing with us for worst pay-per-view of the year. It was so bad. So fucking bad. Like, I thought the Greatest Royal Rumble was bad. And then when they followed up with Crown Jewel, I'm like, how can this get any worse? Yeah, it was worse.
Never say how can this get worse in the WWE.
Oh no, wait. Showdown was Showdown was the one that why I was laughing. It was like Undertaker, Triple H, the very last time. Next pay-per-view. Oh, we're going to tag together with DX and the Brothers of Destruction. So it's not really the last time.
That's when HBK almost killed himself too, right, at Crown Jewel?
Oh, man. I remember that because I remember he didn't, like, the build was Shawn Michaels says, out of respect for you, I never came back. But then obviously they pulled up the dump truck full of money, and he's like, did I say that? I didn't mean that. Yo, I'll do the match, so.
Yeah, I got you, fam. I'll do it. I guess we'll just move into the next category. That is basically best feud, or if you want to call it, feud of the year. So, Michael, unfortunately with this award, guys, and I do apologize for you people out there, I didn't post this one on the Twitter for the No Holds Bar Slammy. So I blew it there. There's another moment I blew it. Got to write that one down, Michael. So I'm going to have a lot of blew it moments this week on the show. I'm sorry I didn't, so we're going to just do our nominees and announce our winners. I don't know, pretty sure we've done few of the year in the past. So, Michael, go over the past winners for this awesome category.
Gotcha. So, last year for you guys, you guys actually did separate awards for both NXT and the main roster. Okay. For NXT, you and Cappy actually picked Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Wow.
And
Man, times have changed.
Times changed. How ironic that they're both in the tag team division now. So going from former NXT champions to now tag team division. Wonderful. Lovely. Vince, you know what you're doing. And for the main roster, you and Cappy actually pick John Cena and The Miz, their feud going into WrestleMania, which was pretty good. I mean, there was that one promo I really liked with John Cena and The Miz calling John Cena a hypocrite. And, you know, all that good stuff. The match was shit, but, you know, still good feud. So,
right.
And going straight into our nominees. So here are the nominees. Daniel Bryan and The Miz. It's a few a lot of the fans have been wanting for a long, long time. Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas, or just Andrade now, or
just Andrade,
or just A. Call him A. Next, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. This was really good. It helped Becky Lynch in the whole man persona. It got to a point where, if you guys remember, the beginning of this feud, Charlotte was technically the babyface. Becky Lynch was technically considered the heel. But then people turned on Charlotte Flair. Fans
Role reversal here.
Role reversal. And the same thing happened to Brian's own Ronda Rousey. So there you go. They had to turn her. So. Next in best feud of the year, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
So Gargano nominated twice here. Damn. Just shows me Johnny wrestling.
There
He's good, man. He's good.
And last nominee, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. There you go.
That was a good feud. I'll admit it. For a main roster, because I'm a huge NXT mark, that was a good feud. Like the whole like Wendy. I died because when people put that on like replay on Twitter, I was pissed myself laughing. But that was good. It was very intense. Like they did the whole him showing up at AJ's house thing. Like I love when they go really in depth and they go intense like that. It really, gets you behind a feud, more invested in it when they get they break the fourth wall or they do a lot of sketchy stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. So I agree with that being a nominee. But as for like the current nominees, unreal feuds all around. It sucks because I agree with a lot of people who say it out there that they should have capitalized on Bryan versus Miz for the WWE title as soon as Bryan came back because they were going right into it and they kind of faded away. Now there's rumors of it actually starting up again for SummerSlam. I'm like, why? It's just, no, you missed the train on that. Don't try to jump back on.
Yeah, that's the thing. That could have been the feud of the year if they just let him go. It was on par on being as good as what our winner is for this category if they would have just let these guys go at it.
Right. And then Becky and Charlotte, it's still going on technically, and so it was kind of transitioned into this year, so good for them being a nominee. And as for the NXT ones, like Almas and Gargano was sweet, especially as it involved DIY, which kind of transitioned. It basically was a in-between feud for Johnny when Tommaso was healing up from his injury, his knee one, and it was awesome because they did a lot of DIY stuff with this feud. I remember the T-shirt thing with Selena Vega distracting Johnny, and then man, Almas would transition into a top champion so fast there, and it fit him so well. So that was a good leap for him. And then obviously probably the greatest feud of our generation, I'm not kidding, is Gargano and Ciampa. I think since the Attitude Era days or even the Ruthless Aggression Era days, this has been the best feud I've ever seen. Like this, it's been over 2 years and it's still growing. And it sucks now that with Ciampa's current neck injury that we might not get the finish of it in NXT. They might have to finish it up in the main roster, and I really don't trust the main roster to finish this one properly. So I just think it was an unreal feud. So for it to be a nominee, 100%, 150,000%, this is an awesome nominee. So.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have full confidence that the main roster will do this good, and you'll regret it once you had Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa for the Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show WrestleMania.
Stop it right now. Do not joke about that. It'll be main eventing 205 Live at a pay-per-view in the pre-show.
Fresh start, baby. There you go.
So, the winner, chosen by the No Holds Barred committee for the best or feud of the year is Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, basically the two DIY members here. Man, it's such a good feud. It's a little unanimous out of all of them there. I do agree with Bryan in saying that if Daniel Bryan and The Miz were left to go at each other last year when it was supposed to, it probably would have won feud of the year because everyone was waiting. That was the big thing. They teased it all the time when Daniel Bryan was quote-unquote healing or trying to get doctors' approval to get cleared for the ring. They're teasing the shit out of it, and they should have gone from it as soon as he was cleared, and they didn't. They had the keys were there, and they just decided, nah, we're not driving. Fuck it. We're just going to do something else because, I'm Vince McMahon. I like to do whatever I want. So, unfortunately, we don't have any Twitter polls for this one. I do apologize for not sending this one out to you guys. So with being that, we'll just jump right into the next category, and that is worst. We go from best to worst. Michael loves the worst ones. He loves these worst categories.
Because I'm the worst. Sorry, I'm the worst.
So worst feud of the year. And that's Michael. Take it away, buddy. What are some past winners of the worst feud of the year?
Let me bring back some wonderful memories for you guys. So winning. Let me take you back to 2017. First, let me ask you guys, Brian, Kyle, what would you, if you could take you back to 2 years ago, what do you think the worst feud was from 2 years ago? What comes out to your mind?
2017.
17.
So it is 2019, so go back 2 years. What do you
Was
think?
that Mania 31 season?
Roman. I think it was Triple H and Roman. That's what my guess is.
No, I think that was Was that?
That was 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. I think it might have been 2016. I'm gonna say Roman and. It's either gonna be Roman and Triple H or Dean and Brock. That's my guess.
How about you? How about you, Brian?
When was Dean and Jericho?
Oh.
I forget, and that's bad. It must have made worse feud if I can't remember it.
I think that was 2 years ago with that stupid cage match.
2017 had to involve Goldberg. That's all I'm saying. This guy had to involve Goldberg.
All right, guys, here you go. It's the winners that Kyle and Corporate Cappy voted on the Slammy Awards from last year. It was so good, you guys had to have it 3 times in 2017. Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, the great WWE Championship chase. So good. The Punjabi prison match? Come on, guys. The return of the Great Khali.
The Great
I
Khali.
forgot about that. That's how bad it was. I totally forgot.
I love it. Oh. Bring back the Punjabi prison and the Great Khali for one night only. Come on.
No.
Okay, guys. We get into the nominees for this year. If he was great last year, he's going to make it in this year. So first nominee, Jinder Mahal and Roman Reigns.
Wow. Shocker.
No comment.
So good. So good. Next, I mean, we go from one guy in this category, Roman Reigns, to another. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Wow, Roman Reigns
involved in
that
you didn't know.
Feuds.
So good.
And easy Roman hype, easy Roman fans. I'm not jumping. I'm not making fun of his cancer by saying he's in the worst feud of the year. Let's relax a little bit. You have freaking keyboard warring. I'm gonna stop there. I'm not making fun of his cancer. Let's just chill out.
Yo, Meltzer, chill out. Okay, so next nominee, John Cena versus The Undertaker, the dream match we all wanted at WrestleMania.
That literally was the worst end of a feud ever. Like what we got, I'm like, are you serious?
You know why that was almost worst feud of the year for me? Because it wasn't even really a feud. What was the feud?
No, it was just something they wanted to capitalize on because they forgot to in the past.
What are you talking about? It was a great feud. John Cena said Undertaker wasn't answering his calls. He was saying, Undertaker! And then we got John Cena on the pre-show, waiting in the crowd like a fan.
Stop.
The best part of that feud was Cena in the crowd drinking beers with people. That's great.
Yeah, and the referee came out to it, and he just ran. Like, his running up the stage was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was pissing myself laughing at WrestleMania. And I was sitting there, I was literally in my seat laughing hardcore. I'm like, what the hell did I just watch?
He ran like full Forrest Gump up that ramp. Like, it was horrible.
Next, we got Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. Porter potty.
This was a burial feud. This was literally Kevin Owens' burial, which I still think to this day is the root of all his injuries, why he was gone for the last 6 months. I literally think he was just fed to Braun Strowman because they were still kind of hyped on him. So, that's it for that. That's all I got to say about that.
Next, Daniel Bryan versus the Big C, or Kaz, spelled with a money sign.
That was last year. Oh my god, that was bad. That was such a bad idea. I don't know what the hell they were trying to get out of that. That was Daniel Bryan's first feud back from injury. That was so bad, fucking bad.
So bad it got Cass fired.
Yeah. So we have Big Cass feuding with Daniel Bryan, way better than Miz, right? Oh yeah, good decision there.
There you go. Next on the list, Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin.
Oh, fuck, I forgot that was a thing. I forgot that was a fucking thing. Oh, that ruined Finn Balor too. That's another person that got ruined because of a feud. Finn Balor and Braun Strowman was like the bulk of the second half of 2018, and literally killed the Smiley Finn thing. And Constable, I remember posting and cropping and making myself a Saturday Morning Slam match thing, and it said Smiley Finn versus Constable Corbin on Saturday Morning Slam. Like, this would be a Saturday Morning Slam match. They call him Smiley Finn and Constable Corbin. Like, that's just it was so bad, so bad. That's all I got to say about that.
Next, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, I really didn't care about this feud. Like I don't hate on it. I just didn't care because I really just didn't care and didn't pay attention to it.
Are you sure? Wait, so much emotion. I mean, she was bullying this woman who was bigger than her. She was making her cry. I mean, none of that means anything now since Nia Jax is now a heel, but, you know.
I think it was stupid.
I legit forgot that even happened.
There you go.
All right, moving
Coming
on.
from the A-Show guy right there. He knows.
Yeah, I'm a Alexa Bliss fanboy, and I completely forgot about that.
Next, Carmella versus Asuka. After she just had her streak broken into a feud with now WWE Women's Champion Carmella.
Now?
Yeah.
She's not the champion right now.
No, no, this is the nominee from last year.
Then. Okay, sorry.
Unless you want to skip to this year's.
No, I thought you meant like Carmella is a champion currently, like right now. And I'm like, no, I really hope not.
Champion of my heart, that's for sure.
They ruined Asuka since she got called up to the main roster. Like there was no saving her even at that point. So really, who cares? Like,
I mean, what are they doing now? It's what, Fire and Desire now versus Asuka and her tag team partner, the Ring Apron, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Book that tag team match in. If you thought Nicholas and Braun Strowman was great, Asuka and the Ring Apron versus Fire and Desire. Beautiful. Book it. Next, the feud that made best moment of the year, Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley, right? That did win best moment, right? Best moment of the year? No?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Sorry, boss. I'm going to say
no. Next, Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal, making another appearance in this category.
Oh, Jinder. Hard body.
And I gotta tell you that this feud was so good, they had to add in Rusev last minute. So if you guys remember Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania. So good. So good. And last but not least, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Now, this was a nominee I added in because they set this up. We had Bayley and Sasha going at it, with Bayley doing probably one of the best things I've ever seen, beat up Sasha and say, "You ain't shit." That would have sold tons of T-shirts. But out of nowhere, they went to counseling, and this was dropped in favor of the tag team division for the women, and was just slowly forgotten and swept underneath the rug. So,
yeah, no
thank you. Another feud that could have been great that WWE just decided to ruin. So, that's the nominees. Yay! So good! Yay! Come on, yeah! WrestleMania 3 times, right, guys? 3 times. Trilogy.
When I say rinse and repeat, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's why this got my vote, because it was just like, here it comes. We know exactly what's going to happen. So why even do this?
It was definitely bad. I know that the fan votes that Brian is about to read out actually say differently. But guys, this feud was so bad. It's a feud that we didn't want a second time. The match was just absolute shit. So many botches. And the only reason that anyone wanted this match is because Roman Reigns would finally take the title off Lesnar, and the championship, the useless fruit roll-up universal title, would now appear more on WWE television, and they didn't even give us that.
Right.
5th kick out of the F5. It was so bad that Brock Lesnar even threw the title in Vince's face. And Brock Lesnar doesn't even give a shit about this business. You know it's bad when a guy who doesn't cares that the match was bad.
Best part of that video was the end. It was like, Mr. Man, you asshole. That's the best part. Like in his loud hick voice. I was dying.
Oh,
But
by the way, Kyle, I don't know if
no,
we're
it's
on the
not
lag,
anymore. I saw.
but no, it's not. Okay.
I did have it muted. It was my bad. Anyways,
You blew it.
I blew it. Let's get to the Twitter poll. What were the Twitter people saying, Brian, about this whole
All
thing?
right. So for the 2018 worst feud of the year, according to Twitter, they are going with. All right, number 7, OMG moment of the year, Kyle. Let's get this going.
No, we have to go over the Twitter poll. Who, if you don't say it, I'll say Roman and Jinder with a whopping 95%.
Oh.
You guys don't know what you're talking about. You guys are all.
That was so bad.
This
Guys,
is
go-
exactly why
go back
Ronda
and-
hates the WWE
oh.
universe. This is
Go
why.
back and watch this match, guys, at WrestleMania. This was so bad. I don't
WrestleMania.
understand.
That was
they blew the
WrestleMania.
shit out of this match.
That was a Money in the Bank match for Roman
no,
and Jinder.
I'm talking about Brock Lesnar and Roman
Oh,
Reigns. That
Roman
the
and
fans
Jinder
voted
wasn't
for
any
that
better.
match. I know
No, the fans
that, but
voted for
it's-
Jinder and Roman.
I know. That's why I say the fans got to go back
Oh,
and
you're
watch
saying,
Brock
okay,
Lesnar versus
yeah.
Roman Reigns. It's bad, guys.
They're both
I don't know what
equally
else to
bad,
say.
but
It's bad. Throw Jinder in there and make a triple threat next year. I don't care. At this point,
I'll fly to New York for that, or
Oh,
wherever the hell,
boy.
or Orlando. There you go.
It's in Tampa Bay next year.
Even
Anyways,
worse.
oh my God, moment of the year, Michael Chow. I think this is a new category. I think.
no,
No, we had it last year. Okay, I don't remember.
You did.
It was such a long show.
It may not seem like it now, guys, but Kyle and Cappy voted for last year OMG moment of the year, and this is gonna be so ironic, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So the Slammy Award that won last year was The Shield reunites for the first time since the split, and apparently now they're doing it every single year.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it every 3 months to give some hype. Every big
for the
pay-per-view, we're
last time
gonna
ever.
reunite the Shield.
So you and Cappy must be loving this, right? You guys voted as
No.
OMG moment of the year, and now you guys get it every year for the end of time.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Right?
Anyways,
Next we go into nominations for OMG Moment of the Year, guys. So we got Daniel Bryan announces his return to active competition. So
that was
we
huge.
didn't-
That was huge. We finally got the moment we were waiting for, with all the rumors of every single doctor out in the entire world clearing Bryan, but the WWE doctors. It was just a matter of time. We were hoping for a big return, a big, right slingshot right into the WWE title opportunity. Obviously, we didn't get that, but it was such a huge moment that he overcame a neck injury where there was no telling that he could wrestle again. Like literally, there was a chance that he could never wrestle again. Like it was the end of his career. So for him, like healing up in 2 years and coming back from that is like massive, like very, very massive. So I think that was why it was picked as a huge moment last year.
Mhm. I think that's really cool because the treatment that he got now opens doors to anyone else whose injury and career is over, and it gives them a chance that they could possibly come back. And that actually goes into our next nominee, where a superstar comes back to a superstar exits the ring. We had Paige announcing her retirement from the WWE.
Man, and I'm a massive Paige fan. I literally been a fan of Paige since she came into NXT. I followed her entire career. Like this was huge for me on a sense that I was there, but I didn't see it because I was at the concession stand while this was going on, because there was a women's match before this, which I really didn't care for. So I'm like, I can skip. You can say it again. I was skipping this. I can go to the concession stand. And I was meeting James from that ass podcast during that, and I didn't know that was going on. But then when I watched it back, I'm not kidding you guys. I was teared up watching this because I am such a massive Paige fan. And it was really shocking. Like I knew she was hurt and there was that freak accident, but there was no rumors or anything. Like there was rumors about what was going on. There was no news about it, and then it finally got broken that Paige was it's the end of her career. But like you said, Michael, if the Daniel Bryan thing proved anything, there's a chance that maybe Paige could come back to it. But as reports came after this, I read that it's worse than Daniel Bryan's. So I don't think she's coming back.
Oh, we'll see. I mean, really young.
The
She's
Wolfie
like,
thing,
I
yes,
think
we'll see.
she's like 22 or 23, right? There's
She's
many
my age.
years.
She's
There you go.
26.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I blew it. But anyways, She was the general manager of SmackDown. Ever since they changed all that, they say she still has a role with the company. We don't know what that is because she's pretty much gone missing. But hopefully they can bring her back to do something else. Maybe commentary. Why doesn't she write for the WWE? I know she's not as good as Dana Warrior per se,
Her
but
movie
you
was
know,
awesome. Like the fight one.
Oh yeah, her movie
sick.
was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not that one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good one. Let's keep it PG here. Michael, keep going.
Next, we have the very shocking Roman Reigns announces his leukemia and vacates the Universal title that he just won from Brock Lesnar. So
See, I would have a comment on this, but again, I don't want to get attacked by people on the internet, so no comment.
Nah, we'll just leave that to Brian. So, Brian, anything? Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing. No one wants to get attacked.
No comment.
Yeah. So yeah, this is really shocking because he announced that this was the second time he's had it. I didn't even know, like many, he had it the first time. So
well, that too, and he's WWE's poster boy, and for him
There
to lose the belt and announce something like that, that's just a huge thing. Like that's like a massive thing to do. So obviously, he'd be a nominee for Oh My God moment. It's like a holy shit.
Absolutely.
Thing.
And this has actually shifted a whole big thing in the Roman Reigns character. You know, whether it's real or not, people are now cheering for Roman Reigns, and this is gonna sound completely awful, but could have been the best thing that ever happened to his character, Roman Reigns. By the way, best thing that could have ever happened to the character Roman Reigns.
It's not natural. So. It's not natural to use something as real as cancer to get him over. Is literally sad. That's fucking sad.
Well, they sell T-shirts, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Next in the nominees, we have Ronda Rousey debuting at the Royal Rumble. Forget Asuka winning the first ever women's Royal Rumble match. We got a woman out here in a fake, and I use that term loosely, fake Roddy Piper jacket pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Thousands of times. So, yeah. Any comment, guys? Ronda Rousey, she's not here. Now she hates everything.
Well, at that point, when her coming out smiling, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cringe. And her coming in the ring and literally just pointing at the WrestleMania sign, that was even more cringier. Why the hell did she just... If she's coming in there as the baddest woman on the planet, why is she going in there and kicking all the three of their faces off? That would have been a moment. Her going in there and literally laying out all three of those girls and then pointing at the WrestleMania sign. That would have made the better moment. But the fact that what they just did and is exactly how it ended off with that picture right there, that's all we got.
That's all we got.
I mean, it was a huge moment for Ronda to even be in WWE. That's why we picked as a nominee. But they could have done so much better.
Yeah, and it's like they worked backwards with this. Don't get me wrong, seeing her in the WWE was cool. Ronda Rousey, I get it. But she should have came in where she is now. Like, all this shit is fake. You know, you bitches can't touch me. But that's where she should have went. Yeah. And then, you know, worked her way into a face turn.
She came in she came in with the Smiley Finn syndrome.
Exactly. You know, completely backwards. It was weird.
Next, Tommaso Ciampa beats Aleister Black for the NXT Championship on a regular episode of NXT.
That was shocking because I think that's officially the first televised NXT for the main championship to change hands. I don't think the main championship, since its inception, where back then there wasn't TakeOver pay-per-views. So for the TakeOver era, I think that was the first time the main championship changed hands on an episode of NXT. I could be wrong, but I'm like 90% sure that this was the first time. So obviously it's a massive moment too. Like Ciampa to be the one to be the next champion was huge. And I know there was a lot of people thinking that he was going to be, but again, it still comes off as massive for him to win the championship at that point. And literally everyone was, including myself, giddy in their pants when they're like, oh my God, so that means Ciampa, Gargano, main championship. So yeah. Huge moment.
And our final nominee, which is pure proof what happens that when you give NXT superstars to Vince McMahon, our last nominee is Asuka's streak comes to an end at WrestleMania. Only been on the main roster for 4 months.
Awful.
Done. One and done.
Just like Shinsuke and AJ Styles. We should have had match of the century with that, and we didn't. I was there. I was live. The match was good, but it wasn't what we were supposed to get. Their match in New Japan was like 100 times better than what we got. And in the whole of the thing that they changed it, but we made Shinsuke low blow AJ Styles going to a heel turn. That makes it better. That makes it better than the New Japan one. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And then so they've ruined Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Royal Rumble. Finally, someone we want to win the Royal Rumble and fail. And they do the same thing to Asuka, win the Royal Rumble and fail, ending her streak. Awful. Awful, awful. And the whole thing after with her crying and hugging and accepting Charlotte after. I'm like, come on. This is like, it was so cheesy. And I'm like, this is so typical WWE. And from that point, they killed Asuka. That's it. No, done. She should have beat Charlotte and continued this streak into. Then I think they should have continued into the next year's WrestleMania. And there should have been this year. It should have been Ronda versus Asuka, or add Charlotte to it because they're going to add Charlotte anyways. Had that be the triple threat or they could have. It would have built itself with Ronda and Asuka, and have Ronda end Asuka's streak. The ultimate badass going up against Asuka, who is the big undefeated girl. I mean, it was right there for them to use, and they just said, nah, fuck it.
No, I hear you. I mean, what has she been doing lately? By the way, I just want to mention Asuka defeated the Royal Rumble winner, Becky Lynch, and she's done pretty much nothing. I mean, what was the point? So,
right.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the nominees?
That's it. Oh, wow. So, the winner for Oh My God Moment of the Year is, chosen by us in the Holds Bar Committee, is Roman Reigns' leukemia announcement. I can't really be. It's not like a happy announcement either. Like, it's terrible, but you know he he wins, or you know, gets this award.
Well, I don't know about
Oh My
winning.
God moment. Yeah, again, of Oh My God Moment of the Year. So Roman Reigns winning that category.
If I can make a quick note on that, I think the reason why it was so huge is because the rest of these nominees, there was some hint of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone was always, when is Bryan coming back? Paige is injured. What's going on with her? She hasn't wrestled in, I think it was like a month she didn't wrestle before that, right? Or something like that.
Right.
Ronda Rousey, everyone was like, what's, you know, she's coming, she's coming. Roman was just like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
It was literally like, what am I watching here? To this day, people are still like, was it a work? So
No comment
it's
again.
just it's just crazy, you know. It's just congratulations, Roman Reigns, on your cancer.
Like, how do we word this?
Yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Anyways, next category. That's what we can do.
Congrats, I guess.
Worst gimmick of the year. Michael, take it away, please, before we go any farther.
All right, there was no previous winners. Let's go straight into the nominees. So for worst gimmick of the year, guys, we have first nominees. Braun Strowman picks a random fan as his tag team partner at WrestleMania.
I was shitting all over this at WrestleMania in front of a section that all was cheering and loving this. I was literally the only one in my section that fucking hated this. I was like, what is this? This is the beginning of the end for the character of Braun Strowman. Like, this was so bad. Like, oh, and it ends up being one of the referee's son. And I'm like, hey, okay, he's not a Wish kid. Why the hell are they doing this? You know what I mean? Like, this was literally not needed and so pointless. And to like degrade the tag team championships like that were sad, especially because they won the damn things. Like,
I mean, maybe it has a little bit of a kid appeal. I mean, Brian, you have a kid. Did she like this moment?
I think
No. Was she saying, "Braun, please pick me"? Right?
She was 2 hours into her nap because WrestleMania was like 15 fucking hours. So
yeah, that was bad. And the worst thing about this is literally the night after this, they vacated the tag team titles, and their excuse was Nicholas had school. So if you need any more reason that the product is PG, I don't know what to tell you.
They ruined WrestleMania for that.
All right. Coming in next. Now, this nominee was entered by Kyle. We have the WWE World Cup to crown the best in the world.
Like, was this a shot at CM Punk? Like, what was this? Like, what was the point of this? It literally, to me, it was like, okay, the Saudi Arabia people, like, hey, we're giving you this shit ton of money. You know, please, you got to do something in this pay-per-view to make us stand out from everything else. What does WWE do? Oh, we'll do a World Cup tournament to the crown who's the best in the world. And we'll do it at Saudi Arabia because they deserve to see who the crowning of the best in the world is. Like, they to me, it's just literally like, way, 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 way overdone and literally not needed. It was so stupid. But again, with the money talks, and the money talks for the worst reasons, I guess, in this case.
I think you guys are extremely ungrateful. You know,
Stop
the whole
it.
point of that show was to see who the best in the world was, and we ended up with the best in the world tag team. So we got two best in the world instead of one. So you know what? You guys need to be a little.
Stupid. They didn't need to do that. They literally could have just had a pay-per-view and maybe actually worked on the matches, or else it would have been. Crown Jewel was one of our worst pay-per-views of the year. Just saying, goes hand in hand here.
And I love it how they advertise this as the World Cup from superstars from around the world, and every participant was born in the United States. So great job. All right, our next nominee was actually nominated by Brian himself. We have Raw 25, celebrating 25 years of Monday Night Raw. So good, they had to film it at 2 different places, guys.
That was so bad. I feel so bad for the people in the Manhattan Center who literally had this. I think 60 to 70% of their time there was watching what was happening on the Raw on the other arena. So they paid massive amounts of money to sit in a theater to watch a TV screen. And they got a couple of things. They got a match or two, which the Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy match that we should have had a while back literally was like the worst thing I've ever seen on Raw 25. You had, the DX and NWO together in the club and the big Too Sweet moment. Oh, sick. Right, sweet. But you've already done stuff like that from like a couple years ago. Like there's not, like it didn't feel like a history or a celebratory anniversary show. Like it literally felt too forced, too put together, too quick, and it wasn't great at all. It was the worst thing they could have done. They should just waited for 50 and maybe have done a better show.
Yeah, there was nothing special about that show, and everyone talks about, like you said, the NWO, DX, Bullet Club moment. Nothing came out of that. Absolutely nothing.
There was
came out of that.
like Bullet Club versus the original club after that. Like, it was stupid. It was not needed. It literally, I didn't care for it.
People were talking about, the Undertaker promo. It's like, it was just confusing. You don't even know what the hell he was talking about. And then you had JR and the King falling asleep at the desk.
Literally.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was terrible. Bad.
There you go. All right, our next nominee, the WWE Saudi Arabia Series. So, Greatest Royal Rumble, Crown Jewel. How can it get any better? Guess we'll see this year.
I've already said what I need to say about these.
Next, the Nia Jax anti-bullying gimmick. Anyone? Nope.
Again,
nope.
No comment.
Move on.
Terrible.
No. Was that during the Alexa Bliss?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Oh,
The whole
that's why I don't
WrestleMania
remember it. I have no idea.
All right, next. The Shield reunites. Again.
Wow.
Nothing?
Multiple
2 times in a row?
nominee. Yeah.
First the worst, second the best? Nope.
No.
Nope. All right. Hulk Hogan returns to host Crown Jewel.
Oh, that was so
Such a good
sketchy.
host.
I mean, it was a good place to do it because they didn't care about the whole racism thing.
Yeah, the most racist place on earth.
That's a good place for him to return. Let's pick there. I was like, oh man, I'm like, this is so like.
But you know what? It makes perfect sense.
That's what I mean. But it made perfect sense for the wrong reasons. Michael, move on.
All right. Our next nominees, just our favorite gimmicks of the years. We have the Superstar Shakeup. Who loves this? It makes a difference. Now that superstars are just randomly appearing on shows now, right?
I like
Superstar
the draft
Shakeup?
better.
Me too. Next, it's the gimmick that skyrockets people's careers. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
I forget that
Did
that's
wonders.
a thing. I wonder if they're going to even continue the women's one this year because they've made zero mention of that thing this year. By now, last year, we knew what was going on with that tournament, with that Battle Royal. Now, like, we're literally 3 weeks away from Mania, and we haven't heard any from either or. I guarantee you both will be in the pre-show because we haven't heard anything from it. It'll be it'll be the Cruiserweight match and then the 2 Battle Royals.
I know what you're talking about. This is the best I've seen Matt Hardy and Naomi do. So thank you for those battle royales for skyrocketing their careers. So next, Money in the Bank. What do you guys think? Did wonders for Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, right?
Oh, you're talking about like the money, winning the Money in the Bank briefcase in general. Like that's like
The gimmick.
Yeah. They've done better in the past. I'm really shocked that they don't put more investment in it because it's actually such a cool gimmick, and I love the whole concept of Money in the Bank. But the fact that they don't put as much effort into it, clearly last year they worked out for the two. No. Until they do better, I don't care. Like even the last two men's Money in the Bank winners were god awful. The whole Baron Corbin thing, and then Braun Strowman, awful. Just don't even have it anymore if you're gonna not put as much effort into it. But Dana Warrior's here, so don't worry, guys. It's gonna get better.
Ooh, there you go. Next, WWE Mixed Match Challenge. You know, it has skyrocketed WWE into being the biggest 1 billion social medias ever. You know, first year was for charity. Second year, they said, fuck charity. We're now doing it for number 30th in the Royal Rumble and a paid trip to anywhere in the world.
See, I would have loved to just continue the charity thing. Then I would have no problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it the year one because it was all for charity. Yeah, the matches didn't make sense and they were corny as fuck, but it was for charity. I understand you're gonna do those types of matches to obviously play a factor to the kids and everything. It's entertainment, but then you are also raising money for these contributors, and they made point of making note of it. The fact that they didn't carry it to the second one really like scratched my head. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to still be known for that? Like that's a big thing. Like they completely ruined it. Like I hate the second part. Love the first one. The second gimmick of it, horrible idea, terrible and god awful. We had R-Truth as the 30th entrant and Carmella as the 30th entrant. Like, are you kidding me? Really?
Well, you guys aren't appreciating the fact that because of this mixed max challenge, we got to see the world's largest RKO when Nia Jax got RKO'd by Randy Orton. So there you go.
Sure.
Thank you, Mixed Match Challenge.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anyways, next.
And our last nominee was nominated by myself. It was the SmackDown Top 10. This concept was supposed to change the way... The SmackDown Top 10?
What?
Don't you remember it? It's supposed to change the whole landscape of how SmackDown does stuff. Whoever was on the list was supposed to determine who got title matches.
That's a thing?
I'm pretty sure, man.
Did you just make that up?
I did not make that up.
I feel like it just made that up. I feel like that wasn't even a thing. Come on. Don't be faking it here. Ronda Rousey will call you out.
No, this was as legitimate as Cyber Sunday. So there you go. So
all right, well,
that's all the nominees.
So the winner for worst gimmick of the year by the No Holds Barred committee is none other than the one I didn't know actually existed, the SmackDown Top 10. Yay! All right.
Bring it back.
Good for that thing that I don't remember anything about. All right. Well, the SmackDown Top 10 is the winner of our worst gimmick of the year because it actually literally did nothing for anybody and literally didn't go from it. They announced it. I think we had a week of a hype, and then it was done. Like, they completely scrapped it, didn't make mention of anything of why it disappeared. It was just moved on.
Yep. And the reason I voted for this one is because at least the other things happened. The SmackDown Top 10 didn't even happen.
That's
right. So let's go to the Twitter. I think Twitter had an interesting pick here. I don't think they agreed with us. I think they had a different one. So, Brian, what did the Twitter, the Twitter sphere, the Twitter universe say about worst gimmick of the year?
It looks like the Twitter worst gimmick of the year is the WWE World Cup.
Wow.
By a very close margin.
I will have to look because it was really bad. It was really freaking bad. I mean, SmackDown Top 10 came in a close second there, Michael, at 15%. Raw 25 at 5, and Nicholas and Braun with 0. I guess people actually love that.
Yay! Bring Nicholas back.
No,
because it looks like Braun Strowman's feuding with those SNL guys from Saturday Night Live.
Dead. Like he's in the body bag too. Like he's like EC3 dead on arrival. So
for those of you that Braun Strowman was the next Big Show, yep, he is.
What happened to your boy EC3? Holy
DOA.
hell.
DOA.
DOA.
All right.
Yeah, so the World Cup, the Twitter sphere chooses the WWE World Cup. And I will love that because that literally was the worst thing ever and literally was pointless. And I guarantee you we're going to get the Greatest Royal Rumble belt to return and the World Cup to return this year in the 2 Saudi Arabia events. Guarantee. Just because, that's dirty Saudi money. They got to love it. Let's move on. Future Endeavored of the year. So basically, guys, this award is to the superstar that's left the company in some way, whether being released, not signing his contract, or fired. Released and fired are 2 different things, especially in WWE, so one of the 3. So, Michael, I know we've had some past winners with this category.
I
There's
do.
some interesting ones. And
yeah. So I think this category actually gets kind of confusing because last year compared to this year, it's kind of because last year's winner that you and Cappy voted for was for Emma, who was released with a whole bunch of superstars. Because I think you and Cappy thought of it as like who was the best one that was released that you didn't want to see be released. But in this year, I think we're going it as who was the worst one who was released, right? Would you say
I just picked whatever one made a bigger impact.
I pick the guy that I can care less about him being there or not. So.
All right. With that in mind, we go to the nominees, and I actually added the date these people were released. So we're starting things off with Neville. Kind of was unhappy with what his career was going to, was not getting paid for the pre-shows, was sick and tired of.
Dude, the guy was
Enzo
like one of the
warning.
best wrestlers on the roster. Like wrestling-wise, was one of the best wrestlers on the roster, and he just came in at a bad time where like they are so invested in making 205 Live a thing. So he obviously got pushed towards there because he's so small. I think he was doing fine before that as like a kind of like a babyface sort of on the main roster. It's just like you needed just to wait your time, but and then they gave him the King of the Cruiserweights thing. That was a big thing. That was what literally helped launch 205 Live, and that whole gimmick was amazing. And the guy is was so underrated at that point, and for him to go like that, it's just and I didn't blame him for leaving for being so underutilized. And look at him now, like he got into like crazy shape, like he cut a lot of weight and got a lot more fit, and he's joining a company that's gonna be flourishing in the next year or 2. So good for him, man. So yeah, it does suck that he did leave the WWE because he didn't get his chance, but he's on to big and brighter things, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who forgot where the hell Neville was, that's because he basically didn't want to show up anymore. And he did ask for his release, but unlike Hideo Itami and Dean Ambrose, WWE basically, to avoid him going to different competition, they automatically renewed his contract, and he had no choice but just sit at home. They did that with CM Punk and a whole bunch of other people. It's a sneaky move, but that's what WWE does. So. Right. So Neville was released September 24th, officially released September 24th, 2018. Next, being released January 23rd, 2018, at the beginning of the year, Enzo Amore. So this guy had sexual assault accusations, and this was pretty big because he was the current Cruiserweight champion. He was going into a pay-per-view with a match, and they kind of just released him, and they canceled the match they had at the Royal Rumble.
He lived up to his own gimmick too much. Like, he talked himself as trash talker Skywalker. He literally was that guy in real life. Getting kicked out of freaking buses and not being and having to have his own locker room. Like, even Miz cut a fourth wall promo on this guy. And everything he said in that promo was literally what was happening behind the scenes. And, I feel Miz was actually genuine in that promo, saying, like, I see so much potential in you, but you keep throwing it away because you don't know how to stop running your mouth. So, like, Enzo basically did this to himself. And the fact that what he's doing now, like, after, like, showing up at WWE events and tweeting sketchy stuff, like, he's just a guy that won't, like, he holds a grudge. And he's not going down the right path. So, yeah, Mr. Enzo.
Mm-hmm. Next, being released June 19, 2018, Big Cass. So there are a lot of reasons why they released Big Cass. I don't know whether the push went to his head, but that he was causing troubles backstage, that he went against scripts he didn't like. They were saying that he was very political, that he's a Trump supporter, and they didn't like that.
The breakup thing, I think, played a factor into this.
They didn't like that he was a Trump supporter. Linda McMahon's in Trump's cabinet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
that might have been a Meltzer rumor.
Yeah, Jesus.
there you go. And next, being released February 15th, 2018. This was nominated by Brian. Re- Released Rich Swan, released February 15th. So
Oh.
kind of like Enzo Amore, sexual or what's it, battery charges.
See, I'm running a Miz
against
thing
his
on.
wife.
I'm running a Miz promo on Rich Swann, man. I saw so much potential in this guy. This guy literally, the sky was the limit for him, and he literally threw it all away, man. Like, he literally pulled an NFL player and literally, did something that's really like horrible, and he paid the consequence for it. He got released. Obviously, independent companies don't give a shit, so he was able to still wrestle and still wrestling today. But it sucks because I saw a lot of potential in this kid. It's a shame.
Kind of bad of me to say, but I completely forgot he even beat up his girlfriend. The only reason I voted for this guy is because it was the only guy I can care less about watching on TV. That was a bigger factor than him beating up on his girlfriend, I guess.
Yikes. And I just want to throw it out here that him and his girlfriend are now competing on Impact Wrestling. So,
Aren't they
there you
married
go.
now?
I think they're married now.
They're married
so
now.
no, because okay. So here's the thing. I mean, I'm obviously against domestic abuse, but it's like eyewitnesses said he did it, and then she's telling the cops that he didn't do it, but eyewitnesses said he did it, and it kind of, to go back to the whole Enzo thing, the whole sexual assault charges was dropped against him, but obviously WWE don't want to invite him back. He was already too much trouble, kind of like Big Cass already, so they obviously don't want to invite that toxic environment back into the company. And and our last nominee, so good you had to release him twice in 2 years. Released July 26, 2018, James Ellsworth. That's it. No comment.
No comment, because I don't care. Like, he was brought back in a horrible role, and it literally didn't last. So, no comment.
There you go.
So I guess we'll get to the winners then. And the winner, chosen by the No Holds Barred Committee for Future Endeavored of the Year, goes to Trash Talker Skywalker Enzo Amore. Yes, the guy with the big mouth wins this award, man. Jesus Christ, man. He's got to be the big. This is for winning on the fact that it made the most impact, the one we don't want to see anymore. On any aspect of it, he should win it because of like what happened with him. Like, even if you take to the fact that you didn't want to see him go, I understand that because he was a decent character for that cruiserweight division. Again, he was leaving also at the time where they were trying to make 205 Live really big, and he brought that his own character and his style into that 205 Live division, which was different and unique from a lot of other things. So, he basically threw it all away. So, other than that, I think we got outpicked from Twitter. I think the Twitter universe did pick somebody else, and turn it over to Brian. Brian, who'd Twitter go with in the Future Endeavor year? I think it was pretty unanimous.
I think it looks like a clean sweep for a Mr. Colin Cassidy, C. Big Cass.
Wow.
Yikes.
Everyone. I guess it was. I don't know. I don't know how the Twitter people. I think we got to be more descriptive in the Future Endeavor of the year next time of why they would pick Big Cass over the other three, especially in Enzo. I think maybe it was the fact that he was likable. He's more likable than the other character than Enzo, so that people didn't really want to see him go. So they picked him as a Future Endeavor of the year. So I think that was maybe most of it, or the determining factor here. I
thought he had a lot of potential. He was big. He was tall. It's something that Vince was looking for. But then I just think that this push went to his head, and he just caused too much trouble. So
getting to the next category. This is a really cool category, and we bring it. I think we started it last year or the year before that. Is entrance of the year. So these are pretty cool. Basically, we picked the best entrance from the whole year, whether it's NXT or WWE. Crazy entrances, like a lot of it obviously comes from WrestleMania. That's when they go all out with entrances. So the bulk of our nominations are from WrestleMania. So let's get into some past nominees and honorable mentions. Michael Chow, take it away.
Gotcha. So the previous year's winner goes to Aleister Black, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. It was a live performance by Incendiary. I'm mispronouncing this,
Incendiary, I
but
think, yeah. But
yeah, there you
they're,
go.
yeah, they sang his theme song. That was sweet. And the one thing I remember from that whole entrance was the bassist. When Aleister Black was walking, the camera was pointing right at the bassist. He was like, "Bro!" Like, he just looked into the camera and just like went nuts. And then the one guitarist with the long ass hair was just like basically looking like Cousin Ed up there, like swirling his hair around. That was just, it was so sweet. So
To this day, that's one of my favorite entrances of all time. I love that entrance.
All right, and we get to the nominees for this year. Starting things off, Shinsuke Nakamura, WrestleMania 34, live performance by Nina Strauss.
so
I
sick.
mean,
This was so
it was
sick. Like this was so dope. Like when Nia Strauss doing the whole guitar solo at the beginning, and then going into his entrance theme with all the violinists. There's about like 50 violinists up there, and literally and when I was in the arena, man, it sounded a lot better when it was in the arena than what I played back on TV. It sounded so good because to me, when I was hearing it live in that arena, it didn't sound like they were playing his playback song. They actually sounded like what we were getting in that arena from those instruments. So it was so sweet, and that's why I was highly picking this one as one of the nominations for entrance of the year. And it was so dope. And then him and Nita Strauss together, like on the stage, like rocking out, like that was just so sweet.
Mm-hmm. All right, next we have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, WrestleMania 34. We have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon on the bikes.
Who cares?
Oh,
It's the same shit, different year.
Motorcade of all women? Come on,
Who cares?
bro. No?
Same shit, different year.
Next we go on.
You can
Andrade.
probably guess their WrestleMania entrance together, and you're going to be probably 60% right every year.
That's going to be their entrance every year. But yeah. Next, we have Andrade Cien Almas, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. Him coming out in the Luchador.
Oh, the Mariachi band. Yeah, that was sweet. That was sweet.
Good.
And yeah, that was dope. And then they're playing his theme song, the theme song along to it when he was coming out. And then him coming out with the luchador mask going back to his routes. Like, that was pretty sweet. So yeah, that was a cool entrance, man.
Yeah. And Zelina Vega actually did her attire as honoring Lita. So
yep.
She said it, yeah. Next, the Velveteen Dream NXT TakeOver War Games coming out in Brian's hometown as Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Dude, I had mixed emotions about this because obviously treading the racism line with Hulk Hogan and him dressing like Hulk Hogan, I'm like, oh.
No, if it was
all
anyone besides, if it was anyone besides him, you're like, but it was, come on, let's just say it. It was a black guy. He was doing it. It was cool. Like, it was. Yeah. And then
the best part was the NWO logo that said "OVA," like he was over. Like,
yeah. You know, like, not to put my hometown over, but like, just the LA is just a mixing pot of races here. So just seeing him and then the whole like. LA didn't care. It was just so much fun. Like, the entrance was it was great.
It was
him doing the Hogan thing throughout the match. Yeah. We were eating it up. Like, it was awesome. It was amazing.
He had the boas, man. He had the exact like boot design that Hogan had. Like, he rocked that outfit,
and
man.
The crowd was just eating it up. I haven't seen it on the network, but man, everyone was eating it up.
The Velveteen Dream is money, and homegrown too, money. So that was a sick entrance for sure.
Next, we have Alexa Bliss, WrestleMania 34, coming down as the goddess from the sky.
How to remember this? Literally, I think I might have been at the concession stand during this one. Sorry.
Yikes.
I'm not going to sit in my seat for the entire WrestleMania, folks. You know how hard it is? Me and Brian had a tough time at the Royal Rumble, okay? Like, doing that during WrestleMania was tough enough as it is. I don't remember this, so sorry.
How dare you? It's this entrance that has now made her
she's hot as hell, but you know,
WrestleMania.
She's hot as hell, but, you know, I have my other opinions about her, you know, wrestling-wise, but I won't go with that.
She came falling from the sky.
Wow, I haven't seen that done in WWE before.
Yeah, but she didn't land on the ring post.
Literally look like look. I'm like, okay, this is Shawn Michaels from 25.
There you go. Exactly. Next, we have Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 34. Now, she's done this entrance before, but hey,
I was like, okay, didn't Triple H do this entrance and she was one of the gladiators?
It was.
Isn't this a paying homage to that? I think that's what this was. And then I'm pretty sure that the 3 guys that were the gladiators last year at 34 were all NXT people. I'll have to go back and see exactly who they were. But they were all NXT people, so kind of like a weird homage paying tribute there. But were there any other honorable mentions there, Michael?
Yes, 3 more. Finn Balor, WrestleMania 34, the LGBT entrance.
I wanted the Demon. So did everyone else. So when he came out
Yes.
as normal Smiley Finn, I'm not saying anything wrong about what he was, the cause he was playing for. I just wanted the Demon. Everyone wants the Demon at WrestleMania. That's like the only time you should be bringing out the Demon, or like big pay-per-views, and he didn't. So I kind of was sad about it. So.
Mhm.
There you go. And I'm glad you said that, because next nominee, Demon Balor, SummerSlam.
That was sick. That was fine, man. People were so hyped for that. The Demon Balor brings more of a hype to his match, man. The Demon Balor is such a significant thing, and I don't know why Vince chooses to hide the fuck out of it, man. I just don't know. He'd rather have Finn Balor go across the ropes and have Kevin Dunn splooging for his crotch shot than have the Demon Balor come up and like go up on the turnbuckle and have the smoke come up from underneath him. Like, that's just so dope. I don't know why they do that. They love the crotch shot more. Like, it's stupid. Good for the ladies because they don't mind it, but stupid for me who wants to enjoy a Demon Balor.
There you go. And last but not least, last
Demon
nominee,
Balor's
Alice.
Demon.
Oh, what was that?
Nothing.
Last nominee, Aleister Black, NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
Yeah, it was sick. I mean, that was the one, was it not, where he had spikes on his like giant spikes on his jacket?
Yeah.
Like he looked like a giant freaking
Yeah.
monster thingy. Like it looked cool. So I think that was it's an honorable mention, but not really. I think entrance
It was
of the
kind
year.
of like a Road Warrior type of jacket deal. It was cool.
There you go. All right,
So-
that's all the nominees.
Winner for entrance of the year by the No Holds Barred committee is Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania 34. What Nita Strauss, man. This was sick. I'm glad this actually freaking won, man. This was such a dope entrance, like I said. Watching it live, too. Amazing stuff. So definitely a unreal pick for entrance of the year. And I'm so looking forward to what they got this year. And to top it off, because I haven't seen really anything to be considered a nominee so far, in my guess, or my book so far, out of all the pay-per-views so far. I think maybe a Ricochet. I love Ricochet's entrance. It's dope, where it's just like all black and the circle thing, and his hand just comes up. Like, it's dope. So I'm hoping to do something big with his entrance. Maybe we'll get something like that for a nominee for next year. But for last year, Shinsuke takes the cake for sure. Sure.
I'm submitting my vote early. We can call it now. We'll bring it up next year. Aleister Black at WrestleMania. It's gonna be entrance of the year. I'm calling it now.
That's true. That'd be sweet. Yep, I can see that. So next category. Oh, I know Michael's going to love this one. They're going into squash of the year.
Squash.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the squash match of the year. I don't know if what our last years are going to top this year. 2018 was a year of squash. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I know we've had some past winners, I think. Michael, go take it away.
So last year's winner or loser, the way you look at it here, voted by Kyle and Corbett Cappy from last year. Winning squash of the year 2017, Rusev versus Randy Orton, 8-second match,
yeah.
SummerSlam 2017.
That was so bad.
Turned around straight into an RKO.
And I think we mentioned last year, too, that Randy Orton is a double winner last year, because I think the year before that we picked Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I'm like, this is Randy Orton being worst match in the year, 2 SummerSlams in a row. Because the year before that, he faced Lesnar, remember? And it ended off so quickly because they busted Randy Orton's head wide open right in the beginning. And it was just like, this is the main event? Like, really? Oh, man, that was bad. So bad. But, yeah, I remember that now, Rusev and Randy Orton. That was so bad. It's tough to remember quick second squash matches.
Because it was so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll get to this year's nominees.
All right, this year's nominees. First, we have the dream match we wanted, and it sure did deliver. John Cena versus The Undertaker. 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
Jesus.
Oh, it was worth the wait. To WrestleMania 34,
wouldn't go
nominated
that
by
far.
Kyle and myself. Next, nominees. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. Quick match, Extreme Rules.
This is one of those I forgot actually happened. When we made it a nominee, I'm like, oh yeah, I literally totally forgot. He literally pulled what he pulled on AJ Styles on Jeff Hardy. And low blowed him, end of match. Cool.
We talk about Shinsuke Nakamura's best match of his career.
That's going to be his signature move, the low blow, something used daily in wrestling.
Yeah. Funny story. I already changed it as one of his finishers in WWE 2K. Yep, low blow. There you go. Next, Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. Quick match. I think it was under 2 minutes. SummerSlam.
Stupid. They literally another burial moment for Kevin Owens. Like, this was part of the worst feud of the year nominee. Oh man, I was so mad at this because I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. He got squashed by Braun Strowman, and literally it turned me off so bad. So that's why I made it nominees. It was nominated by me.
Next, Shane McMahon versus Dolph Ziggler. Best in the World Finals. Crown Jewel.
For a huge, highly hyped tournament for Saudi Arabia, we got a 2-minute match, and Shane McMahon won in 2 minutes. And I think that was a short 2 or 3 minute match, and won the World Cup to be crowned best in the world. Of course, a McMahon being crowned best in the world. Who would have thought?
It's so weird. Stephanie didn't even say anything about it. No one from Raw didn't say, "Hey, you were never in this tournament. Why are you winning?" This makes no sense. But anyway, our next nominee was nominated by Brian himself. Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series. So at this pay-per-view, I don't think it's ever, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this has ever been done before. Raw would win every single match on the main card. Not the pre-show, which didn't make any sense. You might as well just had Raw win the pre-show. But this is a squash, guys. Raw clean sweeped SmackDown, and this led to absolutely nothing afterwards.
Yep, just bragging rights. That's it. And they just didn't mention it after.
Yeah, then bring back bragging rights.
Yep.
And they just made you think SmackDown was just a waste of time.
Fun fact, Michael, there actually is a bragging rights trophy somewhere in the WWE warehouse.
The old classic WWE warehouse. Love it. All right, next nominee, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. SummerSlam. No one beats the Demon Balor, and Baron Corbin did not.
Don't remember.
Beautiful. It's doing its job then. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Super Showdown. The dream, another dream match we all wanted, ended with a very quick match.
See, that's what I mean. They waited too long, and then they ruined it. So that's why when I hear the rumors of them trying to do it again this year, no, I have no faith.
All right, next, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, Crown Jewel. With the help of Baron Corbin, Brock Lesnar would pull out a old classic under 3 minute match.
Shocking.
Saudi Arabia ate it up. I don't know what you're talking about. Best match of the night.
Yeah, they loved it. To them, that was like a 20-minute match.
There you go. Hey, and the main roster can't have all the fun. We have an NXT nominee, Matt Riddle versus Kassius Ohno. Under 10-second match, NXT TakeOver War Games, which was originally advertised for the pre-show, but why not get this quick match on the main card?
I think that was just the purpose of their hype. Like, Ohno was hyping up that he could knock out Riddle, and then Riddle knocked him out in like a quick second. So, whatever.
There you go. That's all the nominees.
It's not like Ohno was anything big beforehand, so... Anyways, so the winner chosen by the No Holds Barred committee for squash of the year goes to the lucky recipient of John Cena and The Undertaker.
Yay! We finally got the match. Yay!
I was so excited. Oh my god, the entrance, and oh my god, it's finally gonna happen. Undertaker and John Cena, and then no.
Remember when everyone said that they wanted John Cena to end the Undertaker streak? Well, if they did give you that match, this is what you would have gotten. So there you go.
And I think,
all right.
Believe it or not, I'm pretty sure we got the Twitter poll and then the Twitter sphere actually agreeing with us on this one. I'm pretty sure I think it was the same match. Let's take it over to our host and the host of the Twitter sphere, Brian. What's going on with the Twitter? of the squash of the
Yeah.
year?
Squash of the year actually looks like a tie on Twitter.
Oh, are
With
you
yes,
sure?
Undertaker and Cena, and D Shane McMahon and Ziggler both have, I think, 3 votes each. 1, 2, 3.
I'd recount if I were you.
I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
This isn't fair to
1,
Brian because I
2.
never sent him the results.
Yeah. On Twitter, it's even A and D. So unless you have something else,
I'm just pulling it up because I'm pretty sure. From what I have that they agreed with us.
yeah, I have A, 1, 2,
1A, 2A, 3A.
Okay, and then if you see the D's,
I see 2 Ds.
no.
Who picked D?
Okay, so we have Amanda with D,
Yep.
Tiffany with D,
Yep.
and Cupid Girl with D. Because fuck Crown Jewel, she says.
Crown Jewel.
She says D because fuck Crown Jewel.
I don't see it. How come
Yeah, it's right under Michael's gif of John Cena.
Yeah, I don't see it. That's weird. Huh. So, because it was not shown for me for some reason, I calculated it wrong. I calculated his Twitter winning with Undertaker and John Cena. That is weird. How come I can't see that vote?
It's right under a green gif of John Cena playing Michael.
I have Glorious Greg under that. That is strange. Okay.
Well, anyways, John Cena versus The Undertaker.
That's fine. Or else it's gonna be a 3.5-hour show just looking at the squash of the year. So we're gonna move on.
I mean, would you guys agree, right? Dream match that totally went downhill. It was a stupid feud. Why do you even have this match at all? Stop bringing The Undertaker back. I don't know what to say.
So we'll move on to we're getting into the matches of the year. So we had squash, and then we get to worst match of the year. Michael Chow, take it away for worst match of the year. I'm curious to see what last year's worst match of the year was and who it included.
Oh, this was a good one. I can't believe you guys voted this as worst match of the year. You and Cappy. But last year, you guys voted Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 33, with Bray Wyatt's incredible CGI.
Oh, man,
maggots.
He's so good at his character.
Spiders.
He created CGI out of thin air. That's how good he was.
And he still lost.
Still lost. No, it was bad. That was terrible. Bad. We were watching it in a movie theater. Like, that was just bad. It was god-awful. I had zero investment into that match. Just awful. So let's get to this year's nominees. These are interesting.
All right, this year's nominees. We go with Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. Backlash. So good at WrestleMania, you got to do it again.
And so bad at Backlash, I forgot it even happened.
Perfect. Next, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 34. You know we love this
so
one.
bad that I walked out.
3 years, guys. Let's hope for a third at WrestleMania. Come on.
No.
Next, Braun Strowman and Nicholas versus The Bar, WrestleMania 34.
Mm-hmm.
Best tag team match ever.
To some.
No?
And
all right.
then...
All right, we were just talking about it. John Cena versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 34. Dream match, deliver. Mwah. Beautiful. Great match.
And then...
Carmella versus Asuka, Shark Cage for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We all love that Shark Cage, right?
Oh, so good.
Nope.
Dude,
so
another
good.
match I forgot happened.
Yeah, literally, I forgot about Ellsworth in the Shark Cage too. Literally, it's so forgettable. If you mention Shark Cage, my instant thought is the Enzo in the Shark Cage.
The Enzo one, yeah, exactly.
All right, and our last nominee is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, Hell in a Cell match. Barely any weapons were used, and a match that has no rules went off the air as a double count out KO. I don't know what you call it. Brock Lesnar broke the cage through. It made no sense.
Didn't we not have Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal?
No. I agree with Michael. Let's see
No,
what ours
I
is.
think Roman
No,
Reigns
no,
and
no, no,
Jinder
no, sir.
Mahal was an actual one.
Oh yeah. So I blew it, guys. Get on me on the show
Yeah.
next week. But yeah, so the fans love this one. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal, two of Vince McMahon's sons, battle it out for his affection, his love at Money in the Bank.
Oh yes,
The
because
true
that was a
son
nominee
won.
on Twitter. I was interested in that one. So the big reveal here, and this may shock people or may not shock people. I think
it'll shock people.
the winner for worst match of the year is, shockingly enough, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. Yay! Hooray! Oh man, this was so bad. This was so bad that I walked out. I was talking so much crap and boosting myself, saying, "Oh yeah, guys, I'm telling you, I'm gonna videotape myself watching out." I actually videotaped myself walking out of WrestleMania. I was periscoping on Twitter, and I literally walked out with 20,000 other people out of that arena. Like, it literally was so bad that even during the match, when you watch back, there was 5 beach balls flying around, people booing the shit out of this match. They even tried to make Roman bleed, and it did nothing. It was just god awful. And for a WrestleMania main event, that's pretty sad. Main event of their biggest show of the year. But I think Twitter, Brian, had other things to say.
Well, I think we're right with it being Roman and Lesnar, but I think Twitter doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
Hey, according to Triple H, the fans are the authority.
Yeah.
So maybe we might be wrong. So
These fans can go to hell.
So
Twitter believes Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns.
all right, wow.
First match.
It was a pretty bad match, but I'm sadly going to have to agree with Brian. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns and Lesnar at WrestleMania was way worse.
guys, this is WrestleMania, their biggest pay-per-view of the year. This was the main event. Fans were chanting, "This sucks." 5 F5s.
And again,
Roman still
why
lost.
Why did people love Braun Strowman and Nicholas? Because that got 0% voted. What's wrong, guys? Why do you like that? Anyways, let's get into the next category, and that is the best part of match, and that's match of the year. And I'm excited about this because we have a lot of good matches last year. And I'm curious to see what our match of the year last year was compared to this year. So last year's match of the year, Michael, take it away.
So you and Cappy voted last year, winning it. Best match of the year goes to Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the UK Championship on a regular episode.
That was literally
of
right
NXT.
at the end of the year. That was literally December 2017, like right at the end of the year. I remember that. That was so good. I keep forgetting about that match. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. That match was amazing and unreal to say the least, man. That literally was, oh man, it was a good match. It was so good, instant classic. Like, you know, Dave Meltzer 6.5 stars written all over it. But yeah, good match. So let's get into this year's nominees, shall we?
All right, guys. This is a major category, so many nominees. So how about I just read them all first, and then you guys can chime in on any that speaks out to you. All right. So read it out, the nominees first, and afterwards you guys can talk about it. Let's go ahead and start with our first nominee, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, NXT TakeOver New Orleans, the feud that we wanted. Did it end well? Did we finally get what we wanted?
It was good. Good. I mean, it was awesome because a lot of people would argue and say Chicago was better because it was a street fight, but we're talking about match of the year and wrestling wise. This was the better of their feud last year. This was really, really well done and so good. Like, this was, man, I still have visions of this match. These two have the most insane chemistry together. That's what makes their matches good. And it was really hard to pick which one out of all of them last year. So definitely going with Gargano and Ciampa with this one.
All right.
At TakeOver New Orleans.
Next nominee, it was at the beginning of the year. So good. Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia.
Dude, this was so good. Literally, like, oh, man. If you guys haven't seen this match and you totally forgot about it and really want to go watch a really unreal match, go watch this, but you need to know the backstory. That's the most key part to this, and what made the match good was the storytelling because of what was going on with Gargano and Ciampa at the time, with Ciampa gone with injury. leading to this match and what happened at the end of this match. And it was the wrestling itself was top notch, but the storytelling was what made this match really, really good.
Next nominee, a match that was so good, Vince would not allow it to main event the pay-per-view. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, last woman standing, WWE Evolution.
This was good. Like in a pay-per-view which was nominated for pay-per-view of the year, I don't think, we kind of disagree with that, but this was actually the best match on the whole card, and I was really impressed with this. So good for them.
All right, next nominee, Adam Cole versus Ricochet, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
Sorry, excuse me.
This
is the match where I think people actually voted for Brooklyn 4. If you don't remember, the most iconic part of this whole match was when Ricochet did his moonsault off the ropes, and Adam Cole super kicked Ricochet in the face during the moonsault, which literally, there's so many good things about this. So that move in particular was insane. Adam Cole's sell job of running around with both hands waving up in the air, like just waving around in circles. You got to go watch this. He was just like the way he was trying to cover was amazing. That, and then the whole crowd being like jumping up from their seat and onto their feet all at the same time during that whole move. Like, it was just an insane moment. It goes up to, it's like an insane moment. Like, it's iconic. Like when you think of insane iconic spots, the first thing that's going to come to a lot of wrestling fans' mind is the HBK and Shelton Benjamin spot where he remember when HBK super kicked Shelton Benjamin right in the face when he did that one springboard, or there's the Randy Orton RKOing Evan Bourne when he did his shooting star press. Like, that was any kind of thing that Randy Orton does like that, or the curb stomp into the RKO at WrestleMania 31, which Michael, I think, pretty sure you seen him. Were you there at 31?
Yeah, I was.
Not you. Sorry, Brian. I knew you were there.
Yeah, I was at 31.
Okay. So that was an iconic spot, and what Ricochet Adam did at TakeOver 4 was an iconic spot too.
All right. Next, if you think Adam Cole was good, Adam Cole versus Aleister Black, Extreme Rules, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. That cool spot. If you thought the super kick was good, Adam Cole striking Aleister Black during the flip with that kendo stick.
That was dope too. Yeah.
Next, Ricochet versus Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole, NXT TV for the UK Championship.
Dude, that was a sick match. I mean, it was, to me, it's weird. You hear the superstars in that. I'm saying I would question it being a match of the year. It was a good match, a really good match, but I'm glad it's like an honorable mention. I would just put it into match of the category, or match of the year category. Just put it.
Mm-hmm. Next, Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream, NXT TakeOver Chicago 2.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Good match. Moving on, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, WWE Evolution. We gotta get the women involved.
Yeah. Shocking. A lot of these are from NXT stars.
There you go. Next, I'm sure Brian will like this. Pete Dunne, Ricochet, War Raiders versus Undisputed Era, NXT TakeOver War Games.
Yeah, dope match.
Awesome match. It was
dope
so
match.
fun.
Thing I still remember from that is fucking Ricochet's 630 from the top of the cage onto everybody. Like, that was just so insanely done, man. That guy is literally a human cheat code, what they call him. Like, he's nuts.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really good.
Now, like, with a match like this, Brian, were you actually looking at the Tron, or were you actually looking through the cage?
I was looking through the cage because I was pretty close up. So the only thing that sucked is at my angle, it just looked like one cage because I was on the opposite side of the entrance ramp. So you really couldn't tell the two cages, but it still looked pretty gnarly.
Mm-hmm. All right, next nominee, one of my favorite matches of the year, Adam Cole versus EC3 versus Velveteen Dream versus Lars Sullivan versus Killian Dane versus Ricochet. Ladder match to crown the inaugural NXT North American Champion, good. NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Started Dave Meltzer's Orgasm very, very early into the night.
30 to 35 minute match, man. It literally delivered. Like, there's so many good spots in that match that were crazy. Even like Ricochet doing the freaking jumping on the rope, doing a shooting star press on the outside on top of Dane and Lars Sullivan. Like this match was so good, and the way they did it was so well done. Even when like EC3 was trying to do the Adam Cole baby, and Adam Cole's like, what the hell, and then super kicked him, and then did the super kicked him, and then everybody he super kicked one after the other, including Ricochet jumping into the ring, and then did his Adam Cole baby. Awesome spot, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And you guys know we got to get the other brands involved. So from the main roster, we have AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. Winner would go on to face Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania.
Is that
from
Fastlane? Oh, Fastlane, yeah.
Fastlane.
I thought it was a decent match. I remember that one a little bit. I remember going back and watching it. I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm. Next on the main roster, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, Survivor Series.
I thought it was decent. I mean, again, this goes back to where I was giving props to Survivor Series for being a good pay-per-view. That was a good wrestling match. I knew we were getting it a little early, and a lot of people questioned that because they thought it was going to be Mania at that point. I thought it was all right.
Gotcha. And last two nominees, I want to get the other brands involved. So from 205 Live, Buddy Murphy versus TJP versus Akira Tozawa versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight Championship on 205 Live. I don't know if any of you guys saw this match.
I did not, unfortunately, but I know Buddy Murphy is insane, so I imagine it was really good.
This was a really sick match to prove what the Cruiserweights can do. I believe Triple H had just taken over 205 Live like a couple of weeks prior, and this match really proved what Triple H, that this guy, he has the potential to actually run these shows. Last but not least, this was actually a famous match. Might be my favorite match 205 Live has actually produced. Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali. No disqualification for the Cruiserweight Championship. You guys have probably seen the spots. The Spanish fly off the announce table.
Dude,
the insane superplex off the steps, steel steps.
Yeah.
So
that was a sick match. I'll give that one props. Honorable mention for sure.
There you go. Whew. That's all the nominees.
So the winner in Match of the Year chosen by the No Holds Barred committee is Johnny Gargano and Cien Almas at Philadelphia TakeOver, man. This was a really good match. And again, I'm telling you people out there, go back and watch this match. And please, if you're not familiar with the build-up, please go back and watch the build-up for it because that made the match. Again, what makes a good match is obviously the in-ring technique and how the wrestlers work well with each other, but it's also the storytelling. And this match storytelling was amazing. So, again, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. But if you want to know more about the storyline, watch the storyline leading up to it. And that's why we picked it as the Match of the Year.
Mm-hmm. That was actually a nominee by you and me. I mean, Kyle and myself. But actually didn't get a nominee vote from Brian. So did any of these nominees get your Match of the Year? Possibly from the A show? I assume the A show, right? Right, Brian?
No, I'm going to be honest. One of my favorite matches of the year that I liked from start to finish was I'm not sure which B show pay-per-view this was, but the Gargano and Ciampa, the Last Man Standing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that one, I think that's one of my favorites of the year, if not my favorite match of the year.
Oh, that was the ending where he
tied him up
at the...
Yeah, that one. I love that match.
What was that the one you went to in Los Angeles?
No, I went to War Games.
Oh, okay.
This was Chicago, I'm pretty sure. Was it not? No, or the one after Chicago.
I have no idea which one it was.
Oh, fuck.
I don't really pay attention to those B shows.
Right. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the next category here, and that is Comeback Superstar. Oh, no. I scratched that.
Wait, hold on. What did the Twitter say?
What are the Twitter fans saying for Match of the Year? Their main event or main roster, Maharaja. Well, what are Twitter Sphere saying?
Twitter is actually going with Ciampa, Gargano, New Orleans.
Oh, you see, that was a really good match. Like that match was, I think that was it, was it not? I'm pretty sure that was the match. I'm trying to remember.
No, I think that one was the unsanctioned one.
Oh,
and the one I'm talking about was the Last Man Standing.
This is the match where I remember now because Ciampa ripped the ring apart and gave Gargano the DDT on the exposed ring.
It was before the Last Man Standing, I think.
So they went ahead with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, 50% Tied it in second with 20% each was our match of the year candidate in Adam Cole and Ricochet, and then only a 10% picking Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
Well, the way the Twitterverse has been going, they should have voted Nicholas and Braun Strowman
Right?
for
I'm shocked. Shocked. Anyways, comeback superstar of the year. This is the category, Brian, where I don't expect you to read everybody's names because we had over 30 votes with this next category. That is comeback superstar of the year. I'm pretty sure we had this one last year, Michael. Who won last year's award for comeback superstar of the year?
Well, it's everyone's favorite. So good they had to do a 24 series on him. But you and Cappy picked as your comeback superstar of the year, 2017, Universal Champion Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense for that because, like, what he coming back to WWE at his age, getting into shape and wanting to do all that stuff for his son, was good. But matches obviously didn't deliver. But in the comeback sense, we gave it to Goldberg. This year's nominees, interesting bunch.
All right, going into this year's nominees, we have Daniel Bryan, comeback superstar of the year, came back from injury. Makes sense. This was me and Brian's nominee, Becky Lynch, comeback superstar. Guys, she was pretty much doing nothing. I mean, she made a huge impact. She basically has when you allow her to do what she wants, say what she wants, she's basically come up with this whole man movement.
Think about it. What was she doing at the beginning of 2018? Absolutely nothing. And to the end of the 2018, a massive difference, getting over with the fans and getting so pushed to what her spot is now, man. Like, she definitely came back from a huge, even a disappointing 2017 into 2018. So definitely a huge nominee, and that triggered a bunch of her votes. Not to give anything away just yet, but that triggered a lot for this category. So move on to the next nominee there, Michael.
And some might actually say Becky Lynch might be the reason why Ronda Rousey's getting booed. I mean, we all hate Ronda Rousey for different reasons, but if she had lost that Survivor Series, which I'm pretty sure what the plan was, I think the plan at WrestleMania was supposed to be Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey in singles match, but she basically turned her and the fans basically changed WrestleMania, like they did with Daniel Bryan. So, okay, the next nominee, and I'll let Kyle talk about this because he nominated this guy, comeback superstar of the year,
Murphy, man.
Buddy Murphy.
It just makes sense. Like, the guy went from a tag team with Alexa Bliss in NXT, which really didn't flourish, and they split it up, and they had Alexa come up to the main roster. Then they did nothing for about a year, and Buddy literally wanted to do something with a career, and he wasn't getting the push he wanted and the time he wanted on the main roster. So when they were starting up 205 Live, he really this is not character, guys. This was real. He made it his goal to cut weight and go all the way down to 205, like around the 205 mark, to be something on that show, and he worked on his in-ring skill. And I first saw the new transformed Buddy Murphy at an NXT Live event when he faced none other than Ricochet. And that match that match tore the house down. It was so good, and it made me appreciate what Buddy Murphy has become and how much work he's put into his craft. And from coming from nothing to that's why I chose him as a nominee, because literally that's a big, big thing, from going as to a nobody to being talked about as one of the most underrated wrestlers on the current roster. So that's why I chose Buddy Murphy.
Hey, from nothing to the pre-show champion. All right.
That sucks. That's underutilization right there at its best.
Yeah.
That's quite the title. Pre-show champion. That's good. Create a title for that. Next is a guy who I think we see a little bit of Daniel Bryan and Buddy Murphy in this guy. Tommaso Ciampa comes back from injury, a guy who used to be known for the tag team, and now comes back, wins NXT's biggest championship. I mean,
and solidifies himself as the
heel.
guy, man. Like, he's literally the top heel in NXT and could be a top heel in the main roster, man, if they used him properly. But clearly Vince and his goons don't watch NXTs, and they're like, oh, these guys, DIY. I remember them, DIY. Let's push them as DIY. And that really worked out. You made Tommaso Ciampa get a neck injury, and now you're fucked for that. So, maybe if you had to watch NXT, you'd see how good of a heel he was and push him as a heel right away.
And one great thing that was about Tommaso Ciampa is, Kyle, I'm pretty sure you remember this, is the amount of boos he got. It was a different type of boos where he played the heel so good that the fans seriously hated him. It's much different than Roman Reigns, where it's like they boo him for a different reason.
Right.
They booed Tommaso Ciampa because he played the character of a heel so good that they just hated this guy, and he played it so well.
Yeah.
And last nominee here for Comeback Superstar of the Year, Asuka. She went from streaking, broken, barely being used, jobbing all the time. I mean, she freaking jobbed to Carmella and comes back, wins the SmackDown Women's Championship
That's the
at
only reason
TLC.
why I give her an honorable mention. Other than that, like, they really haven't used her to her full potential. But for her coming from nothing and getting her streak broken to now being the champion, you know, that's why we gave her an honorable mention for Comeback Superstar of the Year.
Mm-hmm. That's the last one.
So, the winner for Comeback Superstar of the Year, chosen by the No Holds Barred committee, is, and a lot of people out there agreed too, Becky Lynch, who becomes a 2-time winner tonight. Yay! Which kind of ruined that. We'll get into why she's a 2-time winner. I do apologize.
Nice.
Yeah. Botchamania here, but living.
Botchamania
If Matt's watching, he's gonna feature this on Botchamania. She's a 2-time winner, guys. I'm not gonna say what other category she wins, but she's a 2-time winner tonight. She got 2. I think I did it wrong because I was gonna do this for graphic. I did it for the wrong graphic. I apologize.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so she becomes Comeback Superstar of the Year. Yay! Good for Becky. And you don't have to tell everybody's name here. Brian, but the Twitter sphere, I think, agreed fully with us because this is the category that got the most amount of votes out of all of them. So this was insane. The Becky army was huge in this one.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, whopping 85% Becky Lynch with. I don't remember what I tallied it, but literally had over 20 votes for Becky. I'm pretty sure. We had 10% for my poor boy Buddy Murphy, 5% for Daniel Bryan, and nothing for Asuka.
Yeah, I started scrolling. All I saw was D. I'm like, all right, she wins. I'm not even counting these.
Yeah. So the next nominee, that was a good one, Jobber of the Year.
All right. So congratulations, Becky Lynch. This is her second award of the night.
Yep, you were the.
Look at me, Asuka. Asuka, right? No.
So last year's winner, Michael, go ahead, take it away.
So last year's winner was, I'm not going to even sugarcoat it for it. It was Kurt Hawkins. Lost every single match. I don't know what else to say. There.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Let's get into this year's nominees. And it's funny you say Kurt Hawkins.
There we go. Nominees, Bray Wyatt. Guy's gone MIA. No say. Bobby Roode went from one of the greatest NXT champions to now in a tag team division. Yeah, heels.
They made him Smiley Bobby along with the next nominee.
Sasha Banks.
Smiley Sasha.
God.
Smiley Sasha. Finn Balor.
Smiley
Smiley Finn. If you smile, it's over.
Wrong. Yeah.
Next nominee was nominated by Brian, Samoa Joe, who's now a winning champion.
Yeah, it looks like they
United States champion.
Yeah, I mean, that guy.
I mean, he went to jobbing. Yeah, he went from jobbing with Jinder to being a good champion now.
He literally talked a huge game every single feud and just lost.
Ugh.
Every time.
Yep. Now he's a champion. Good. They listen to him.
Next, we got to add the NXT guys. We have Cassius Ohno. Seems to pretty much lose every single match that he's in.
That sucks. I think he's just become the guy at NXT to put people over now. So that's his thing.
Next, we have pretty much, if you want to be credible, you got to go through this guy, Raul Mendoza. The job
What the hell is that?
Exactly. Very good. Moving on. And so good, he makes it back into the category this year. Kurt Hawkins is once again in this category, and I'm right now on his Twitter account. So, guys, he has lost every single match since last year's Slammy Award with an impressive 0 wins, 262 losses.
My God. That's insane. 200 oh my God. Anyways. Well, Kurt Hawkins, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, but the guy is the winner for Jobber of the Year. goes to Mr. Kurt Hawkins, and I don't have another trophy because he's a two-time winner. That is 2 years in a row for Mr. Facing of the Facts, Kurt Hawkins, winning again 2 times in a row in the Slammy Awards, and hopefully he can win a match so he wouldn't be considered jobber next year, but it doesn't look so good for him so far.
What can you say about a guy who lost every single match last year at your guys' Slammy Awards to losing every single match from last year to this year's Slammy? So, easy pick.
Right. And
what would the Twitterverse say?
Twitter agrees. D. Kurt Hawkins.
And we actually had one write-in for that one, I believe. So I have 95% for Kurt Hawkins, so the lonely 5% writing, and I don't have a graphic for it, but we'll announce it anyways. Goes to, we'll let Brian announce it.
The Revival.
Because they actually had and I agree with that, because their 2018 up until now was terrible.
Yeah, it was literally the same thing as Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
They suck, and you're champion.
Literally. Hey, the AEW effect, it's real. I'm telling you, it's the AEW effect.
A hell of a t-shirt company.
Yeah, for now. Let's get into the next category. This one's a cool one. Manager of the year. This is a really, really cool one. Last year's winner was actually a 2-time winner then. And we'll get into that. Michael Chow, take it away.
All right, so Kyle already said it. Last year's winner is Zelina Vega. Helped Andrade Cien Almas to win.
I thought it was last year's Paul Heyman. Okay, it was the year after. Okay, so the first person we did was Paul Heyman.
Botch.
So the first award show, there's been so many of these award shows, okay?
I think you just did it again, guys.
Long night, guys.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
All right, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Nominees, Paul Heyman. What can I say? He appears more times than Brock Lesnar. Next nominee, Lana. Well, she's good this year. She finally got rid of that Russian accent.
Lana number 1. Lana is best. Lana number 1.
Although, I don't know about this year because according to Aleister Black, she's 90% fake. So, moving on. Drake Maverick. Even though he's the general manager of Cruiserweight of 205 Live. AOPP still has time. They'll never let it down. Next nominee, which I think was actually a good one. It was actually nominated by Brian, Aiden English. Oh. And now this guy is so good. They had no choice but to pull him back from being a manager to now doing commentary for 205 Live.
Oh, that's where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I went with English is just because the whole manager of the year thing to me is like, what duo wouldn't exist without each other? And both English and Rusev just completely fell apart without the Rusev Day gimmick. You know what I mean? Like any of the other guys, Heyman with Lesnar's fine. Zelina without Andrade, fine. It's just these guys without each other, it fell apart.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. 100% right.
Yeah, but no one gets over by themselves, so sorry. See you later. And next nomination is, they invited him back for the sole purpose for 2 months, James Ellis, a.k.a. James Ellsworth. So there you go. And that's it. That's all the nominees. Not a lot of managers this year, or last year.
Shocking. Spoiler alert, the winner for Manager of the Year goes to Zelina Vega, who becomes a 2-time winner of the No Holds Barred Network for Slammy Awards. So she is now a 2-time winner, 2 years in a row for the unreal managerial skills of Zelina Vega. Man, she's just so good, man. Look what she's done for Andrade. Andrade wouldn't be as big as he is if it wasn't for her. Obviously, he was bigger in NXT at the end of his run in NXT. I think they should still. This guy is like this guy could run well in the main event if they use Zelina Vega to that potential. I don't think they've even used Zelina Vega as much as they can be on the main roster. I think that will eventually change, hopefully. But man, for what she's done for Andrade Cien Almas, and she's a key factor in his character. That's why she wins Manager of the Year again. I mean, Paul Heyman really hasn't done much with Brock Lesnar last year, so sad that he was a continuous nominee and winner on this show when it first started, but Selena Vega slowly taking over that, man. She's becoming a really good manager. She's also a good wrestler, so I'm intrigued to see what they do with her wrestling from here on out.
Paul Heyman, he needs to manage more people. I mean, there's like one time where he was managing
they
Brock.
tried that. That's what I mean. He was doing Brock, and then he was doing Curtis Axel, and it didn't feel right to me. Like, it was during the whole, and then remember the whole CM Punk thing, and just it felt like there was too much going on.
Heyman is just, you see Heyman and you think Brock. Like, they're just linked together forever. It's just not going to work with anybody else.
So I think the Twitter sphere actually agreed with us 100% on this one, didn't they?
Yeah, Zelina Vega.
Yeah, 100% Zelina Vega, 0% for everybody else. Sucks to be you, Paul Heyman, Lana, and captain of AOPP, Drake Maverick. So we're going to move on here and to our last two categories of the night, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to start off with the men, and we'll end off in the main event with the women. And that
I wonder who that's going to be.
Yeah, thanks.
Shh, no, you didn't hear it. And that is male superstar of the year. Michael, who was the big winner last year for male superstar of the year?
Okay, so before I read this out, I think we should have a new award next year, saying maybe the award for biggest fall from grace. Because when I tell you who you and Cappy voted for male superstar of the year,
God.
Yeah, here it goes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
No. You can sugarcoat it if you want.
Here it is. The guy who we thought was going to be the new face of the company, Braun Strowman, male superstar of the year last year. Go back and watch.
Wow.
You and Cappy voted Braun Strowman, male superstar of the year.
Look
how big he was.
That's got to be an award next year. Fall from grace, man. That is, holy moly, that is nuts. Man, he had such promise though, and I wasn't on the Braun train when it first started out, and then I got on. And I'm like, man, this is, he can actually be pretty good. He has some promise. He can, he's a big guy. He can actually do pretty good in the ring. He does what he needs to do. And then they kind of just said, fuck that. Like, it's just, I don't understand why they didn't. I think again there was the thing with him with like backstage stuff. Like, people weren't. There was something going on with him as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, getting to the nominees. We have Seth Rollins. Yep. Always does good work. Current Royal Rumble winner going into WrestleMania.
Guy's a stud, man. The guy's just like literally, he's just insane. So good for him.
Mm-hmm. Next, AJ Styles. He brought the WWE Championship back into being the main title here. I mean, I think he's what, the second or the first longest SmackDown champion?
Dude, the guy's the best wrestler in the world. 100%. Guy's literally the greatest wrestler in the world. Number one.
All right. Next, I think he might be the next big thing if Vince can do it right. We have Ricochet, the one and only.
Man, I think so. The guy's got massive potential, and I said it before on the podcast, guys. Agree or disagree, Ricochet with some more mic skills can be another AJ Styles. The guy just has as much potential with in-ring work, and if he gets better on his promos, he's got the whole package.
Next, Mr. Johnny Champion, or I'm sorry, Johnny Previous Champion, Johnny Gargano, now going as a heel. Or, I mean, tweener. We don't know about this.
He's a stud, man. You've seen all the matches he's had within NXT. The guy creates star-studded matches, and he works well with anybody he's in the ring with. So the fact that he's had so many match of the year candidates last year and been in a lot of great matches last year with a lot of different people, I think constitutes him as a nominee for Superstar of the Year, man. The guy is literally what his nickname is, Johnny Wrestling. So, and he has the charisma and mic skills to go along with it. He's could be a great superstar, but again, he doesn't fit the Vince mold, so he won't ever get pushed that way. So.
Next, a guy so good that Vince will not call him up. We have Velveteen Dream. I mean, the fans love him.
Oh, man.
Young, current North American champion.
He's money, man. He is charisma level 1,000. Like, he is just so good, and he's got the good work, and his matches are top notch as well. This guy's got the whole package as well, man. He's another top guy.
Mm-hmm. And our last nominee, got to give it to him, current WWE champion, Daniel Bryan, coming back from injury. I mean, this guy's come up with this new character, the new Daniel Bryan, the Planet's champion. Love the new title belt. And, yeah, Daniel Bryan.
Michael Chow, you missed one. Botch.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this guy. Are you sure?
Why
All right. Well, he was your guys' winner from last year. We have Braun Strowman.
No,
He did okay.
wrong.
Oh, what I miss?
I think you
Oh,
missed
whoops.
the greatest heel so far coming out of NXT, but yet is shockingly down with an injury. That is Tommaso Ciampa or Ciampa.
There you go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the winner, chosen by the No Holds Barred Committee, is none other for Superstar of the Year for 2018 is the person that Michael forgot, Tommaso Ciampa.
See, he was so good. I forgot.
Michael, how do you forget the guy we voted for?
That's okay. I botched a lot. We can give credit to Michael for that one. So, Tommaso Ciampa is our male superstar of the year, man. The guy had a massive 2018 with the storyline with Johnny Gargano and solidifying himself as literally that he can be a #1 heel in a brand. So, good for Tommaso Ciampa, and he definitely deserves to be getting male superstar of the year 100%. As much as AJ Styles, you can credit in AJ Styles. To me, AJ Styles did it another year that he's always done. He's literally just doing the same thing. There's nothing really much more bigger that he's done to be a male superstar of the year. Seth Rollins, it sucks because he could be the face of the company, I think, in my eyes, but they don't push him that way, so that's why I can't really push him as a male superstar of the year. Very, very close second place I would give to a Seth Rollins. Obviously, Johnny Gargano has got his attributes to become a superstar of the year, but for sure, out of 2018, Tommaso Ciampa deserves that honor and a privilege to win that award. So, the Twitter sphere had different opinions on this one. Very, very different opinions, which I was shocked by. So
yeah, you're actually gonna have to help me out on this,
so this one.
since
I'll
you
help
have
you
the
out
actual
because
result.
I'll transition it for you. So this one was very almost down the middle. So out of what we got from the Twitter poll, 50% say Johnny Gargano, superstar of the year. A close second with Ciampa and AJ Styles at 20%, and then a 10% for Seth Rollins for in third place. Man, that is very, very, very tough and very interesting that Johnny Gargano got the vote for, and I can see why, man. I mean, I see the things he's done in 2018, but I'm sorry, Tommaso Ciampa just deserves it way over Johnny, and it's shocking because I'm a huge Johnny Gargano fan. So the Twitter sphere has spoken, and they have chosen Johnny Gargano, a.k.a. Johnny Wrestling.
Yep, they're already disagreeing in the live chat we have right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see it. We got one saying I demand a recount. Another one that says hell to the nah.
Sorry, I counted properly. I did. This is not fake. The polls are still up.
There
you guys
you
can
go
and see it.
Oh boy. Another saying Dream is #1. Boo Ciampa. I mean, guys, come on. This guy was the world champion.
Right.
I don't know what they're gonna do with his title now that he's gone. He's become one of the biggest heels, and the others. I don't know what to say. I think
the fact that he's a heel helps him out a little bit better more than Gargano, because it's so much easier and funner to be a heel, and this guy just commits to the character so much.
That's right.
And it's just he's the whole package. He's the in-ring, which I love, and I'm a big old school character guy, and this guy, just the way he hugs the belt.
Yeah,
it's just
he nicknamed it. He's Gold. It's Goldie. It's Goldie.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch the B show again.
Yeah.
Brian just assumes he loves Goldust. That's it, right? Goldie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the only. Stop it.
It's gonna come up. He's coming.
Oh man, you're too funny. Anyways, guys. Yeah. So Tommaso Ciampa winning male superstar of the year. So now we're going to get into the next category and the main event of the evening, and that is the best for last, because we are a PC podcast, female superstar of the year. And we'll go with the last year's winner, Michael, for female superstar of the year.
She may be a nominee for biggest fall from grace. We'll have to see. We have last year, you and Cappy voted for her. Alexa Bliss winning Female Superstar of the Year 2017. Back she was popular. Now everyone takes a backseat to Ronda Rousey. So that's all I got to say.
I'm kind of shocked that I picked. I'm sorry. Don't kill me, Cappy. I'm kind of shocked that I picked Alexa Bliss for Superstar of the Year last year.
Well, no, I mean, before Ronda Rousey came, she was the first SmackDown and Raw's women's champion, multiple-time Raw champion.
That's probably why I picked it, yeah.
And now she's the host of WrestleMania. So how dare you? So
how dare I? The host. What
There
a
you
great honor. The host of WrestleMania. I wish I was the host.
There you go. All right, let's go ahead and get into the nominees. Becky Lynch. Well, this was a simple one. Super popular right now. The man movement. What else can you say?
The man movement is exactly right, man. She's so popular right now. It's ridiculous. Especially with this category on Twitter. I'm pretty sure had a ton of traction as well. Yeah, Becky Lynch definitely well-deserved for her huge comeback in 2018.
There you go. People are calling her the female Stone Cold Steve Austin. When would you ever think?
I mean, they're
anyone
mimicking
on the
every
roster,
gimmick because they have to rinse and repeat and can't come up with anything new, right? Just saying.
Next nominee in Vince's eyes, Charlotte Flair McMahon Jr. So there you go.
Charlotte Flair McMahon Jr. Wow. That's a good one.
Hey, she didn't have to win the Royal Rumble, and she did not win her, I guess you could say, number one contendership match at Fastlane. She got in, and she was picked. She's Vince McMahon's chosen one. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go. Next, honorable mention. I know Brian loves this male superstar, Shayna Baszler, current NXT Women's Champion. She's been champion for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
definitely my male star of the year.
Oh my God, I was waiting for that to come. I was waiting for that.
Next nominee, Kurt Ross, Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. This podcast is not fake. Screw the woo, damn the man, screw all the fans. Brian, how dare you boo her? This is all because of you, Brian. And Datila and everyone from LA. You guys did this. You did this.
You did.
She didn't want to do it. You made her.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I am totally okay with it.
All right. Next nominee. She won last year, so she's got to make it in here this year. Alexa Bliss. Yeah, let's move on.
Yep.
Carmella, Money in the Bank winner. Went on to win the Women's Championship.
Barely an honorable mention. Barely.
Next honorable mention, Nia Jax. Anti-bullying campaign. Former Women's
Men's Royal Rumble for sure. Let's for sure agree with that. Yeah, sure.
There we go. And we got to recognize the other brands. Next, we have Kari Zane, Mae Young Classic winner, the first one ever.
Bro, her pirate entrance next year is going to be insane at that Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah. She better come out of that damn boat, dude.
She better, man. If WrestleMania is ruined if she doesn't come out of the boat into like a Shawn Michaels type entrance from the boat to the ring, man. Like
I'll one up you. Her whole match has to be in the damn boat.
Their whole match, a match on a boat. Boat match.
Oh man, yeah. Can I add to this? They gotta have a cameo appearance by the previous pirate, Paul Burchill.
Paul Burchill
remember him?
has to accompany.
They're all there. Bring them all out.
And it's not a wrestling match; it's a sword fight.
Yeah, and then instead of a pole or a ladder match, you can just climb up the big old watchtower
and
the
treasure
belt
chest.
from there.
It's not even a belt.
All right, last two nominees. She was the former, but still undefeated in NXT, at least in her mind. Bianca Belair, fastest, strongest, bestest. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I love her theme song, man. I listen to Bianca Belair's theme song all the time. That freaking, I'm obsessed with it, man. Bianca Belair is slowly becoming one of my favorites, man. I love her. Love her.
Mm-hmm. And last nominee, second ever Mae Young Classic winner, Toni Storm, current NXT UK Women's Champion.
Good. She is so freaking good, man. Oh my god.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
For other aspects too, but she is. Her in-ring work is amazing, man. Literally a really good wrestler. So good for her. I would strongly consider that a nominee. I actually put her as a nominee. Probably replace. I don't know.
So young too. Oh, what were you gonna say, Brian?
And if anyone's wondering who she is, just Google image her. You'll
stop. Yeah, make sure your safe search is on, please.
You'll thank me later.
All right. Well, in saying that, guys, moment of truth. The winner for Female Superstar of the Year is pretty unanimous, and I gave it away earlier. Becky Lynch with the wrong graphic because I picked the right one with the single one. So she is a two-time winner tonight and wins the Female Superstar of the Year bluntly and, obviously. coming back on a huge 2018 to where she is now at the end of 2018 too. So definitely deserved to be female superstar of the year. And if she continues this momentum now, she might win it again next year. So we'll see what happens in the women's division going forward. So yeah, Becky Lynch, congratulations. And Michael Chow, speaking of Becky Lynch, ladies and gentlemen, we asked you and we told you if you would like, or you have to like and retweet. Retweet was the biggest thing. A category nominee, you would be automatically entered into a contest to win a special prize, which we are going to announce on the show today. And it was basically the biggest thing here was you had to retweet. If you thought you can get away with just liking, you thought it a little bit different there. You had to retweet as well. And Michael Chow has gotten a really cool prize. And speaking about Becky Lynch, I'm going to reveal it for you guys watching on Twitter right now. Here's what you're going to win when we do the random drawing right now. The winner of the retweeting contest for this contest and presented from Michael Chow will win a none other than autographed picture of Becky Lynch. You're going to get yourself a personalized picture of Becky Lynch autographed by her. What you're going to do it once he picks the winner, we will be expecting a DM from you from the network at NHB Network, and you will send us your shipping information, and we will be sending this off to you very soon. So, or if you want, we can come in contact with you if we don't hear from you in a couple of days. If not, if we don't hear from you in about a week, I'd say we're going to do another drawing from the people who retweeted just to keep it fair. So that is the awesome prize that you're going to win for the winner today of the retweet contest for this award show. So without further ado, Michael Chow, can we pick the winner of the Slammy Award contest?
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. To make sure it's not rigged, guys, we're doing it live here on the air on my phone. All the entries are in this virtual app right here. I'm going to go ahead and push the button. Winner's going to be announced. Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, hold up, Michael. Hold up.
Oh,
just
God.
to be fair, I'm going to transition a new screen here just so that you guys can actually see. Give me one moment here. I'm gonna make Michael's picture bigger. It's going to look awkward on camera for about a minute, but I'm going to make sure that we can all see the winner for Michael. All right, so I'll transition it for you guys now. All right, Michael Chow, pick the random winner.
All right, here we go. So I'm pushing the button, and the box will be mixed up. All right, there it goes right there. Spinning.
Well, look at that.
There
The
it
virtual
goes.
spin.
Whoa!
Whoa! Oh, it's picking one. It's picking
It's
one.
the raw
Open the
roulette.
door.
Hold on, I got.
Are we picking our rumble spots? Is that what we
Here it goes.
Oh, and then we got it.
What the hell? Oh, did we get it?
It was there for a second.
It was there for a second. Hold on. Okay, so you guys got it?
Yep.
I'm gonna read it out loud because I
At
can't see.
TonicCoin29 on Twitter. At TonicCoin29 on Twitter. Whoever you are the winner of the contest for the No Holds Barred Slammy Awards. I'll transition it back, guys, so you guys are not extra big on the screen. For the retweet contest, Tonic something, I forget what it was, Tonic something 29. I'll go back and rewatch it and make sure we come in contact with you. You are the official winner of the Becky Lynch autograph signature. So congratulations to you. So I'll give you a quick round of applause there for thank you for retweeting, and thank you to everyone else who retweeted and entered into the contest. There's already going to be another contest. If you guys are a fan of the network, you know already, myself and Michael Chow here have a show called The Next Podcast on the network. We talk about a little bit of the main roster, mainly deal with the A brand, NXT. And that's,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and we have actually a anniversary show coming up of the network, officially turning, I believe it'll be 5 years. So it's the 5th annual Slammy. So it'll be 5-year anniversary show coming up in April. We're gonna be doing not a really big episode, but something like an anniversary type episode. And there'll be another contest on there and a prize provided by myself. Will be on that one too. Probably looking at something from our official sponsor, ExtremeWrestlingShirts.com, as a prize from there. Maybe we'll do a couple prizes. So there'll be other contests to go. So congratulations to Tonic, and thank you to everyone who entered in. And definitely sat through this entire show for the Slammy Awards. Again, it's a lot of show. We put a lot of work into it, and it's our favorite thing to do here on the podcast. So now that we are winding down, I do want to thank Brian for coming back and being a special guest here on the network. Definitely a blast from the past. If you guys are a fan of our podcast and the things we did last year, especially with the big swerve we did, that was really fun to do. And sorry, Michael, that we didn't keep you in the loop. But it is
well, Ronda Rousey said it was fake. I should have known your guys' feud was fake. So why didn't I see that coming?
I do want to thank Brian for coming back on the show for this episode. I really do appreciate it, Brian, and the work you put into this as well, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was fun. It's always fun to be here with you guys. I missed our main A show talk, but I'll let you guys talk minor leagues for as long as you guys want.
Right. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you very much for tuning into the Slammy Awards. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at NHB Network on Twitter. You can follow myself at Real Kyle Masters. You can follow my co-host Michael Chow TV. You can follow our special host today, and still, we're still considering him a member of the No Holds Barred family at Heel Turn 21 on Twitter as well. Maybe he'll join us back for some more Twitter interactions or during pay-per-views. Brian's still part of the family. We're going to do a lot more stuff with him in the future, hopefully. So thank you again, Brian, for joining the show. Guys, make sure you are, if you are listening to us on the go, we're available to listen to on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Spreaker. Spreaker is our glorious podcast app where we do live shows on there as well. And also make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/NHBWR. All video versions of podcasts are posted on there. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon to let you know when we're going to go live. Again, the No Holds Barred Network, your number one podcast source for WWE, NXT, UK wrestling, and all elite wrestling content. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for the No Holds Barred Wrestling, No Holds Barred Network Slammy. Is the 5th annual award show. I'm your host of the show and the owner and CEO of the network, Kyle Masters, joined by my two hosts today, Michael Chow TV and Heel Turn 21, Brian and Michael. Thank you for tuning in, guys. And remember, we're actually still going to be going live this week with the next podcast. It'll probably be on Saturday night. So we're still going to be reviewing NXT and a little bit of main roster on there. So make sure you're tuning in with us on this Saturday night. And we'll see you then. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to this very long episodic TV show. Slammy Awards. I wish we had a TV deal. That'd be cool. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we'll see you next time.